Right, and we're back. I am Matt. This is Josh.
It's the same intro every week.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, but I'm not saying you are still Josh. Yeah, you see the difference?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy at the end is a guy that I won't mention by name because I've already seen the show notes and officially hate him to the point where, Lord have mercy, if I get back to the UK, Lewis, you better hope to God that I don't find you.
So if you didn't realise I'm Lewis, and Matt, just to correct you, you would ask, are you still? You wouldn't say, you are still.
Oh.
Getting it in early.
Josh.
Getting it in real early.
Josh, help me. I need saving. My sanity needs saving.
I only do this with you. I don't do it with anyone else.
We all need saving.
I know you don't do it with anyone else. I know. So, Lewis, do you want to start off the show note response, or shall I? I don't know who's going to drive me up the wall fastest. Me
let's start from the top.
You?
Let's start from the top.
Okay, sure. Oh,
last week we were asking, like, why did they split it into quarters? Like, why not do it in halves? It's because of the field advantage that you get playing hand egg.
Wait. Oh, sorry, this is hand egg, right?
What?
That's why they do it in
hand egg
quarters.
is American football.
So they can swap the sides.
I forgot about that.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. So that's. Okay. Wait. Hang on. So they do it in quarters because obviously at the start of each quarter they can flip around the field.
Yeah. So if the wind is going one way, one team has an advantage. So they flip the sides just so that everyone has the same advantage. It doesn't really work like that though, because the wind isn't a consistent entity. But it's like the best you can really do.
Well, it's not like it's always blowing one way or the other way across the field.
But there's a prevailing wind, so it's just to counter the prevailing wind.
Okay, but if they did it in just two halves, wouldn't they just have an equal chance each? Because obviously they would,
There could be substantial weather changes over 2 hours as opposed to 1 hour.
There could be substantial weather changes in a football game. That doesn't mean that they have to split it into quarters so that if they're shooting into one goal, they have the advantage of the wind for each quarter.
You have to remember, though, that wind is quite dependent on height. So in hand egg, you're kicking the ball high and you're throwing it high.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
Wind is a much bigger factor. I mean, in football, you're also kicking it high.
Okay, so why the hell would they do it in basketball then? That makes literally no
consistency.
sense. It's
and just so people have a break. American football is high intensity, short burst.
I mean, yeah.
Having breaks for players probably keeps it more interesting to viewers and advertisers.
Yeah, but you have timeouts.
Yeah, no, but this is just a way that so you don't have to use time. You only have a limited number of timeouts per game, right?
I mean, yeah, you do. Yeah.
So just when players want to rest, not as worth a timeout as like they want to keep it interesting for viewers
and also advertisements
and advertisers.
Let's be real. The main reason is just advertisements.
I don't think it started off that way, but it did definitely end that way.
I mean, yeah, it's like saying this. It's like the Super Bowl itself. They actually, not that you'll care, but I did actually watch the most recent Super Bowl, and at one point they actually had a graphic comparing statistics from the first Super Bowl to the most recent, and one of the statistics they had was the cost for a 30-second advertisement, and in the first one, which was in 1963 or something. We can correct this later, but it was sometime.
No, we can't. I'll just have to rectify it in the show notes.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is, sorry,
there'll be corrections available.
I'll do the corrections.
Yeah,
that's what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome, Lewis, hearing this in the edit. Next week you'll hear when it actually was, but whenever the first one was, the first Super Bowl, the 30-second advertisements cost like $3,000 or something, and now it costs like several million.
What's that adjusted?
For 30 seconds. I don't know what it would be. They probably didn't adjust it, but even so, it gives you a kind of a rough idea.
Yeah, but it wasn't like $1 in the past worth way more than $1 now.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's not like the 1960s
still probably
had such a variation in the economy that it's going to be equivalent between $3,000 then and millions now.
No, I'm not saying it is, but a factor of 10 and a factor of 100, very different, or 1,000.
Yeah,
they're very different.
Either way, it's a hell of a lot more now.
The reach that they get, though, is insane.
I mean, yeah, the view. Do you know what really annoys me more than anything else? And I'm sorry if any NFL fans are watching, but this needs to be a truth that's told to you.
No one's watching.
and also for slightly less, I suppose, for basketball, maybe. But when in the NFL, when they get given the NFL, Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi Trophy, they always say that they're world champions. You're not world champions. If you win the World Cup, you're world champions because you fight. You don't fight, but you play against other teams from other countries. If you win the Super Bowl, you are not the world champions.
It's only American teams.
Exactly, because you're only playing the sport in America. The winner of the Premier League in Britain doesn't go, we're world champions.
Yeah. But to be fair, hand-egg is played almost exclusively in America. So there's no other teams in foreign countries. So they are actually the best team in the world. And you can, I believe, legally play in the NFL.
You can, but there was barely no foreign players. It was invented in America, only played in America. So you're not playing against any other international sides. So you can't say that you're world champion.
But they are, though, because there's no other teams.
Well, but that means that I can invent a sport tomorrow and then win it and then say I'm world champion. Doesn't actually mean anything.
That would be vacuously true, yes. You would be the world champion.
Fine. They can say they're world champions, but it doesn't actually mean anything, and nor does it mean that anyone internationally is going to recognise them as world champions.
But they would still be world champions, though. Like it or not, they are actually world champions.
Fine. I know it doesn't really mean anything, but it's just something that annoys me. It's like, if you win the World Cup in football, then yeah, you're world champions. Or at least I would view you as world champion.
You're okay football players. And coincidentally happen to be a world champion.
Yeah. But I mean,
maybe just don't tie such worth onto meaningless prizes for teams that you don't care about.
I don't hold teams as true world champions if they're just playing the sport in their country. If they're in an international tournament where they have to play teams from all other countries around the globe, then they're world champion.
But are they? What's to say I'm not the best football player in the world? I just didn't play that year. Yeah, they won that year, but that doesn't make them world champions. That just makes them winners of the World Cup.
But if you win the World Cup, you're the best team in the world.
What makes the world champion then? What's the definition that everyone
the world
agrees
champion
on?
would be the best player in the world.
What you mean, team?
No, best player, because this is a uniform thing. It's the best entity that
single
plays.
Champion.
First of all, yeah, you can't be the world champion unless you're the best player on your team, because that doesn't make any sense.
Wait, what? You can't... Hang on, wait. So you can't be the best team in the world unless you have the best player in the world?
No.
No, he's talking about one person.
There can only be one champion.
So you're saying
a team can't occupy a champion.
But it's team sport.
They're the world's best team.
Then
if
the
you
world
win
champions,
the World Cup
Josh. They're not
Oh my god, Josh, I'm gonna hurt him.
I really tried.
I'm going to hurt him. I just realised what he's going on about. I'm going to hurt him. I hope everyone can realise at this point and truly understand and appreciate what it's like to have to do the podcast with this guy every week.
I didn't speak to you last week, though. You didn't turn up, so...
I have reasons that we're not going to go into now, but I had reasons.
He had
not
reasons.
Excuses, I had reasons.
I want to get my punches in, right? I got so much time for this.
Fine. The winner of the team that wins the World Cup in football are world champions. Happy?
Not really, no.
He'll never be happy.
No,
he'll never be satisfied.
No. I think that just calling them world champions is dumb. You can call a person who wins Wimbledon Wimbledon's champion, right?
Yeah,
because they won Wimbledon. But the World Cup is a very arrogant thing because you're not playing every player in the world. You're picking some teams and then saying they'll go at it. Let's call it something different.
Well, no, you qualify for the World Cup. All the teams that get to the World Cup finals qualify, and then they actually go to the tournament and play it out, and then obviously you eventually get two teams to the final, and whoever wins is the world champions.
But why are they the world champions?
Because they've managed to beat every other team they've played. And although
they haven't played every team in the world,
They haven't played every
World Cup,
They
which is not the same as being the world's champions.
Okay, so what would you call it then? So hang on, wait. So by that mantra, you could never be world champions because it would require you to play every other team from every other country in every other league. before you could officially claim yourself as world champions, which you could never do because you would never be able to play every team.
Yeah, I think we just don't call it the World Cup.
What the hell do you call it?
You can colloquially call it the World Cup, but I think it's dumb. Like, I don't like it when they call Hearthstones like worlds. That's dumb, right? Like, call it like Hearthstone has a world championship, and I think it's dumb that it's called the World Championship. Because
what would you call it then? The International Championship? What would you call it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, still,
how is that
still
different to the World Championship?
It isn't really.
Can anyone participate though?
In Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you play Hearthstone, all you have to do is like get to a certain like score, like you have to get a certain number of points in Legend, and then you qualify.
I think.
Why isn't that a World Championship then?
I think World Champion is just like you can't prove that bit. Like you won the tournament, but the tournament shouldn't be called World Championship because not everyone actually has an equal playing field in this.
So basically, we should not call any tournament a world tournament or an international tournament. Every tournament is just a tournament, and if you win it, you are just the winner.
It could be the big one, right?
Yeah.
The big tournament.
You call it the Grand Tournament. You're Grand Champions. You won the Grand Tournament.
Like the Champions League in football. It's not called the European Cup like it used to be. It's just the Champions League or the Champions Cup.
Yeah, it's better. Also, like, who doesn't want to be called the Grand Champion?
I mean, yeah, that is true. I mean, you are
World Champion, whatever, right? Grand
yeah.
Champions, like, that's planetary.
I suppose I can understand that as a point then, because like the Champions League, it's not called like because obviously it's not a world, it's not an international tournament. It's only for Europe, but it's heralded as one of the most important cups a club could ever win in Europe, and one of the greatest in the world. Because like often the best teams are in Europe, and so therefore if the best team in Europe wins the Champions League, then they'll probably be the best team in the world, etc., etc. So,
but only probably.
It's not called the World Cup, so I can understand. So the thing is, though, is what would you rename the World Cup?
The Grand Cup, Grand Series,
sure, anything like that. Okay, fair enough.
The big one,
Baseball should probably rename their thing then, because then in baseball it's the World Series.
Yeah, I mean they should probably just call it the American Series.
Yeah, although they already have the ALCS as one of their things, which is like the American League Championships. Well, no, Championship Series, which is like one of the semi-finals they have because they have like the American League. It's weird. Like they also have this in the NFL, where the two divisions teams are in is like the NFC and the AFC, like the American Football. I don't know what the C stands for actually, but it's like the American League and the National League. It's very, very weird. I don't know why the hell they can't just call it like Division A and Division B. It would be far easier to understand. Yeah,
but it's less impressive, right? Like it's all theatrics.
I mean, yeah, especially with American sports, it's very much theatrics. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you see like an American football game, like you have the first of all, the national anthem is played. This is something that do you know what I realised recently?
Well, I don't think you realised it recently. I reckon we've had this conversation before.
No. I was talking with people recently here in Canada about.
Are you in Canada?
I am in Canada. Yeah, didn't you know? I was talking to them about because this is to a certain extent in Canada as well. There's kind of really strong sense of patriotism. I'm not going to try and cross a line.
I never liked that
last week
situation though.
But so this is obviously very true in
weird.
America, but also to a certain extent in Canada. Like flags waving everywhere, national anthems sung everywhere. You have to pledge allegiance to the flag. USA, USA, USA. You can't speak ill of the country, and it's seen as very weird and abnormal if you ever criticize the country and say how bad it is.
It seems really weird to me not doing that.
Exactly. In Britain,
just blindly going, this country's great.
People in Canada have always been looking at me very weird when I talk about Britain because I'll always be moaning about it. And they're like, why do you hate Britain so much? And it's like, oh, no, you don't understand. It's sarcasm. Like
it's not sarcasm.
No,
actually, it's not even sarcasm. Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Being very realistic about the problems we have.
This is the way I thought about it. This is what I was going to say. This is the sort of metaphor I drew up. I said the difference between North America and particularly America and Britain is Britain is the parent with the child that's messed up and has problems, but the parent is willing to acknowledge the problems of the child and love them still for it. America is the parent that has the messed up child that can't see the child's faults and still thinks they're this star-spangled wonder kid that has nothing wrong with them.
No, Britain still has like a messed up child. It's
Well, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
still-
That's what I'm saying.
We just accept it.
Britain as a parent has a messed up child, but we're willing to acknowledge it and still love them for it, despite the fact that they're messed up, because we're all messed up. With America, it's the parent that,
Yeah.
like, what do you mean there's something wrong with Timmy? He's perfect. He's amazing. Like, he's everything
Tim
I
is
want him to
amazing.
be.
Like you stop. You stop right there, my dude.
Sorry, yeah, of course he is. So he's part of the secret police, so I can't say anything ill about him.
Yeah, no, you got your legs broken.
I still can't believe that. Was it intimidation checks that he gets bonuses on? This is
He gets
D&D,
advanced
by the
on
way.
them, yeah.
Talking of D&D, apparently. Sorry. Is there any? Do we want to do further feedback before we move on to D&D? Because I know
Yeah,
that we do have.
let's finish this up. I reckon these next ones are going to be quick.
Okay, well, let's hope so.
All right, let's start in the obvious place. Matt did 2 bads, but one of them was worse than the other.
Here we go.
So Matt's been Americanized. He said math.
That's not so bad.
Americanized. It's mathematics. It's a plural.
Listen, it's not like I said aluminum.
How many
It's a-
mathematics are there?
Many.
Do you know what? I
More
actually have
than
a friend.
one. So therefore, it's a plural.
I actually have a friend over
what
here.
are the individual mathematics, though?
You've got
I don't
fluid
understand.
dynamics. You've got number
Don't start him,
theory, group
Josh.
theory.
Really
Okay.
don't start him, please. I actually had a friend over here in Canada that didn't realise aluminum was actually aluminium. And that is actually the way it's
No, but-
spelt in the periodic table. And
Is
he
this a
actually
joke
looked-
I'm too British to understand?
No. He literally didn't. He
Don't they-
didn't know.
No, but don't they
aluminum
spell
isn't
it
real.
differently?
It's not a thing.
Yeah, I know, but but in North America they
I
don't
get
say
the joke. I get the joke, Matt.
Yeah, I know, but it was just like because I was saying to him, I said aluminium, and he said, "What's aluminium?" And I went, "Oh, sorry, it's what you call aluminum, but it isn't aluminum." And he went, "What do you mean it's not aluminum? In science class, we're taught it's aluminum." And I went, "No, if you look up the periodic table, it's aluminium." And he was like, "What?" He was like completely like having.
I thought they just spell it different. I thought they just use
they
a
do
different
spell it
spelling.
differently, but it's not that they spell it differently. It's that aluminium. If you look up aluminium on the periodic table, it is spelled aluminium. There's
And
an
this
extra
isn't
R.
a country divide. This was sorted. I
Yeah.
can't remember when, but that we basically made a trade. Sulfur spelt with an F, aluminium spelt with an I.
Yeah. So anyone that ever says aluminum, they are quintessentially wrong. Like there's no ifs or buts.
So, because the
Sorry,
periodic
America.
table is agreed upon by everyone, and all use the same.
Oh, it's scientific
Spells.
convention to come up with like a.
The scientific community
Yeah.
basically agreed to the spellings and the pronunciations. So if you
Okay.
have a problem, bring it up with scientists, America.
I always thought it was fair
It's not
enough
like you're-
because like
it's
they
not-
just
yeah.
they because they're spelling it differently. It's fine, but since it's on the periodic table as like the exact or as aluminium for everyone.
Yeah, basically,
that-
America, if you have a problem with it, talk to
guess-
scientists. But then again, it is America, so it's not like they're listening to them much right now anyway.
It's the kind of thing. If I said nitrogen, you'd be like, "What is wrong with you?"
I would probably actually start asking if you're having a stroke.
Yeah, you wouldn't buy it. Like it's the same thing there. You don't get a pass just because we've always had it like that. Like times change, old man. And by that I
Back
mean
in my
you're
day.
young, but like times are changing.
Times are changing.
So there's that. Matt said Lone Wolf is a cutscene, and it isn't. This was
Okay,
very
okay,
petty.
okay,
but
okay.
He
Hang
apparently
on,
wants to
hang on.
argue this,
Okay, listen. It is an interactive cutscene.
but it isn't. You go into the level starts, and when you die, the level ends.
Yeah, but you could say this, but you get what I mean by interactive cutscenes. You could argue that's a mission. Walk to the pod. There you go, that's a mission. You walk to the pod, you completed the goal. Well done.
Is that the entire mission, start to finish? Like if
That's
I
like
loaded
Lone
it up,
Wolf.
could
The
I
whole
load
point-
up the thing?
Can you load up Lone Wolf?
Yeah,
You can?
yeah. Lone Wolf is its own mission. On the mission screen, it starts at the beginning, like where you're just walking around, and it ends when you die, and then it moves on to the cutscene missions.
Oh,
It's
fair enough
basically
then. Fine,
what you
I'll
have
see
is
then
you
it's a
have
mission.
Pillar onto a Pillar of Autumn, then you have Epilogue, then you have Lone Wolf.
Yeah, okay, I'll admit then. It's, fine. I'll admit it's a mission.
Right? Wrecked. Just want to confirm. I said last week it's
Lewis
a normal
has to
time.
be right. He always has to be right.
It's not me being right. It's that I care about the accuracy of some of the statements you say, Matt. And because it's a podcast, I would let this slide normally because I wouldn't listen back to what you said.
Would you really?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because I didn't catch it on the day, did I?
I mean,
I was engrossed in the conversation. I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah,
but I was listening to talk to you. Don't sleep at a normal time anymore. So just hit me up at 3 a.m. I'll probably respond. And
this is the thing. He literally will. I've messaged him in getting towards late evening here in Canada, which is 5 hours behind. So it's 3 or 4 in the morning in Britain, and Lewis responds immediately.
Yeah, the trickiest one is sleep for a couple hours a night.
The trick is to get grossly undersleep.
Lewis is the only person I've ever met where I actually have to ask AM or PM when he says when he waked up or went to sleep.
I got up at 2 today, if you're wondering.
Again, AM or PM?
Well, it's obviously PM. We're recording at 3.
Oh, right, yeah.
And last thing, and this is, I'm very, very particular on this one. I've been gaslit.
The fifth one did it. The fifth one did it for me. I'm sorry, but the fifth one did it.
So last week we were talking about. We won't talk about exactly what we're talking about, even just in case that gets picked up.
Josh, we are not discussing this.
We're not discussing it, but
we're not discussing what.
We went from a topic that was
what are we not discussing?
It was a serious topic we were joking about.
God, it was something to do with It was
Molly, shut up.
God, it's a red guy, a red superhero.
Right, we went
Deadpool.
We went from a topic that we a serious topic that we were joking about, haha funny, and then Matt said something and we went from Spider-Man to this.
Oh, that's right. It was the Spider-Man suits.
And then Josh was like, I don't get why you don't like the Iron Spider. And then I said, I responded to that in however way I was going to respond to it. I can't remember what I said. And then later on, 5 minutes later, they were like, you brought this up. As if I brought it up.
But in the first place.
That doesn't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
Talking about
if
I bring up Spider-Man 6 weeks ago, and then this week we bring up Spider-Man.
No, but in the same episode,
you brought it up. Still,
I did.
Yes,
I was the first person to talk about it.
Because you keep joking about bringing it up.
No, I don't think I was the first person to say.
It wasn't me.
I'm just going to go and get some popcorn right now.
It wasn't me.
Headlines, don't mind.
I didn't do it. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about D&D. Leave me alone. I'm just saying, I've been gaslit and I don't appreciate it.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right then. So
we'll each have to listen to the episode and come to our own conclusion.
I think we will have to. So, Timmy Boy, how has our favourite little D&D character been getting on?
I've got 4 sessions of follow-up this week.
4?
Yeah. So I joined a new session on Fridays.
Oh.
New
character?
Because we moved our recording date from Friday to Saturday, so I can now go to the Friday sessions that I'm missing out on. And oh boy, they've been good.
Uh-oh.
So, you know how Tim is he doesn't like killing, he's
introduce us to your new character, Lewis.
So Tim is... I'll do Tim first, because we all know Tim.
Okay.
Tim
we
got
all know and love Tim.
We went Pseudo Dragon shopping. It was a nice little cool down before the Ender Mountain, which we started this week.
Casual things.
So Tim got a Pseudo Dragon. It's a Radiant Pseudo Dragon. He's called it Ray.
Ray.
You getting the joke? Okay. Come on. You're so close to it. Right. So Pseudo Dragons have really long names. He's Japanese, so his actual pseudo-dragon name, I haven't fully decided, but it's something like Ray of Light that pierces the heaven like a fork pierces a pastry, right? And that would be a legitimate name for a pseudo-dragon.
That sounds pretty good.
Like a fork pierces the pastry.
I like that one.
That is the most unintimidating end to a name for a dragon ever. I always wanted to arrive at the
pretty
battlefield with like a
intimidating.
baking apron on.
Pastry can be tough.
And muffin mitts on his paws.
So he's called Ray for short.
Sure.
It's easier. I'm not going to call him Ray of Light. The pastry. Everyone's like a folk face of the pastry. And that's what he decided his name is exactly. I just know that he's called Ray.
I'm loving that name.
So I got this pseudo dragon. We found out what was going on with Wardley. He's got parasites that cause him to shoot lightning.
Okay, that doesn't
weird.
sound like your standard flu.
Jonathan has to read any book that he reads if he fails a whiz save, I think.
That's
But he just
Yes,
so he knows so he got stuck in a library for ages. That's my theory. He hasn't said so, but that's my theory.
So he's just very well versed in literature now.
Yeah, and then Goldor wanted to go and kill the Mind Flayer to get some brain juices, so he went and did that. Guess who almost
Lovely.
died?
Oh, let me guess.
Tim!
What
Another
a surprise.
one to Goldor's asinine plans.
Another one?
Yeah, so we went in, and we knew
What
there
is
were
it with Goldor's plans and getting you almost killed
we knew
every
there were intellect
goddamn
devourers
session?
in there. And Tim has 6 intelligence. On average, Tim immediately goes down to
He's not
intellect
exactly on the
devourers.
brainy side.
Well, no, he is. He's just too intelligent and doesn't fit in his body. That's what we've canonically come to the conclusion. That's the only answer. That's it.
I want that to be the excuse for every stupid person from now on. Listen, it's actually that I'm so intelligent that I can't actually fit all of my intelligence in my brain, and I have to just keep a little bit of it in and leave most of it at home during the day.
Yeah, his wisdom occupies too much space.
It makes sense.
So Tim almost went down. Luckily, Goldor killed the intellect devourer before it jumped on me. But if he'd missed or not killed it, I would have gone down.
Lovely.
Right? Then a mind flayer drops from the ceiling.
As
That's
it
what we're there
does.
for. So we're looking for it anyway. We take it down, but it paralyzes Tim with an int save, and he now
That's a
has
bit
to sit
inconvenient.
there for a minute because he physically refuses to pass it. Everything I rolled was below a 10. 10 rolls in a row. Wasn't happening.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
But as Tim, the
Jesus.
healer, is paralyzed, Goldor runs along like, oh, I wonder what's in this room, guys. And he
Oh,
walks
no.
in, 2 intellect devourers jump out on him. Luckily, he's wearing a headband of intellect. So he actually can't go down to intellect devourers because they devour his 19 intelligence, but it sets it to 19. But if he ever takes it off before he rests, he instantly goes down to it.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, that didn't happen. So we killed the mind flayers and the intellect devourers. This took like 2 hours. This is a very abbreviation of this.
I was
And,
going to say, yeah, this is the real short story version
Yeah,
of
so
this.
we looted it. Tim chopped up the intellect devourer because he's really good at that. Like, you have to wonder what Tim's life is actually like that he's able to chop up intellect devourers and genuinely pull out their brains.
I mean, that's almost disturbing.
Because he was like, after he got exiled by his druid clan, he had to like hunt for himself. So he's really good at like.
I was
and
going to say,
also
is he
trained
good at
by-
hunting?
He's also trained by druids to like value what he gets, so he's very good at survival.
Okay. So you've got a Bear Grylls with a dragon.
Everyone has a pseudo dragon, except Wardley, who has an actual dragon, but it's tiny.
So you're a dumb Bear Grylls with a pseudo dragon.
Yes. So
Right.
from here, we decided to go into the Undermountain because that's like, Rob wanted to get onto that, and we all wanted to get onto that. So we lower ourselves down into the mountain, and then Hallister comes on I'm going to call it the radio, but he telepathically inserts himself into our minds and is like, "Welcome, new contestants." And we know that he runs like an interdimensional TV show kind of thing.
Interdimensional
Like,
TV
he
show.
streams the Undermountain to people to like watch competitors get murdered by what's in there.
Oh,
Oh, so it's like live streaming gladiator matches.
Yeah, basically. So we're now the
Lovely.
new contestants. Wardley immediately sees a hidden door or a secret door. So we try and open it. It doesn't open, but it's made of stone. And what can Tim do? That's right, meld into stone.
Nice.
What?
I was expecting at the start of all of this for Michael Buffer to come out of the woodwork somewhere and start saying, "Let's get ready to rumble."
Well, prepare yourself then. So Tim knows going in there. He had a vision. I think I mentioned it last time. Like the hunter he saved has had his child kidnapped and has been turned into a vampire, and he's going to go and save them. That's
Tim's going to go and save what? The child turned vampire?
Yeah. And his dad, because he knew them from when he saved them a while back.
Right, okay. Can he reverse the effects of him turning into a vampire?
Potentially.
Okay.
So, Tim knows there's a vampire down here. He melds through stone. He can't come out of the wall, but, like, he can hear, and he can hear what sounds like a vampire on the other side.
Uh-oh.
I think there was some miscommunication of, like, Tim actually looked through. He can't actually look through, but, like, the first thing he sees is a vampire lord, which is, like, CR13 terrifying.
CR13?
Yeah. Undermountain runs to, like, level 10, I think. 10 or 20.
Ouch.
Like, it's a
just so I know I am correct, CR13 is for level 13s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tim ain't doing that. He backs out and is like, remember that vampire I was telling you guys about? I'm just shoot that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know the vampire thing we were talking about? Yeah, no? I'm good.
We move through the dungeon from here. There's lots of... Dungeon crawls aren't the most interesting to explain, because it's lots of small puzzles and, like, loot.
From
like,
the ones
loot.
that I remember doing, yeah, it's not exactly the most interesting thing in the world, for the most part.
I enjoy doing dungeon crawls. I mean, listen, I ran bad dungeon crawls. Sue me. But, like, it's not anything I'm going to tell you a huge amount about. It's like, oh, Tim went down to some, like, psychic attacks, and, like, we found some secret doors, and there was a sword that if you touched, you couldn't untouch. You had to hold it forever.
That sucks.
Until you could, like, remove the effect.
That sounds like a really, really rubbish version of Excalibur.
Yeah, you had to pull it from a stone as well.
Did you actually?
Yeah, it was stuck in some, like, stone, like, statue.
I just imagine it's like, behold, I've pulled Excalibur! Oh, what? Does that mean that you're super powerful and you'll never get beat once you hold the sword? No, it just means I can never let it go now. Oh.
Because below the sword there was, like, a decapitated hand.
Oh.
So dismembered, decapitated, it's the head, obviously. But it was a dismembered hand. And we were like, why is that there? And we realised as soon as Zai's familiar, Zai is Nezen's sort of replacement.
Yeah.
As soon as Zai's familiar touched it and couldn't let go, we're like, oh, someone touched it and had to chop the hand off.
Great.
Yeah. And we moved forwards. We went into what we're calling the Hall of Mirrors, because that's what we called it.
Uh-oh.
It had loads of mirrors in it. Goldor walks over,
Really?
looks in a mirror, a shadow appears behind him and morphs into Goldor. It looks identical.
Oh, what?
And only
Sounds?
I think only like one person knows which one's real.
Just looks identical or sounds identical to Gondor as well?
It hasn't said anything yet, because that's where the session ended.
Oh, okay, interesting. So I wonder, because like usually if it shapeshifts, does it actually adopt the voice as well?
We don't know, but we think it can't mimic the dragon. Because it has the dragon on its back, but the real pseudo dragon can fly. So we think that might be doable. That's where the session ends. Let's tell you about the new one. Because this was like slow build-ups. And let me introduce you to Burke.
Burke? Like the name of the village from How to Train Your Dragon?
Well, no, Burke is like, you're a right Burke. Like, you're a moron.
Oh, okay.
It's a bugbear name. I just random generated it.
So, Burke.
Burke's a bugbear.
So you've got Tim and Burke.
He's a barbarian.
A barbarian, okay. What race is he?
Bugbear.
What's that?
It's like a monster. It's
how do you say it? Bugbear or
yeah, bugbear.
Bugbear.
Yeah, like an insect bear.
I have no idea.
It doesn't look like an insect bear. It just looks like it's like a goblin that's furry and big. He's 7'3".
Okay. He's 7'3". Okay.
He has a 10-foot reach, so if he hits you with a weapon, you have to get very into his range. There's no step in, step out versus a bugbear.
Right. Okay.
And you know when people say, "Oh, I'm a nasty drunk when I drink like vodka."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Tim's rage. He drinks one of them. It's like nasty drink.
Oh God. What? And then he just goes absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's why he rages, because he drinks like he's an alcoholic, but when he has a quick swig of his flask, and all of a sudden he's a berserker like murderer.
So basically, you've created a character that's a 7'3" furry goblin that's a barbarian that's a raging alcoholic.
Yep.
Fantastic. Right, what kind of weapons is this raging alcoholic
A maul.
furry goblin guy holding?
It's a maul and 2 hand axes.
A maul and 2 hand axes. Fantastic.
So he got introduced.
What's his AC?
16 without a shield, 18 with a shield.
Oh my
He doesn't
God.
wear any armor, obviously.
What
'cause he's
health has he
barrier.
got?
23. He's got 7 less health
Oh
than Tim,
my-
and he's 3 levels below.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
And he has, at next level, he'll
That
have
is
resistance to
ridiculous.
all damage types except for psychic while raging.
Wow.
Jesus.
How long
he's
does
the
the
tank.
rage last?
A minute. So
That's
only 3 minutes a
sick.
day at level 3. But you have to consider combat doesn't last more than like 4
Yeah, I was gonna
rounds,
say,
4 or 5
yeah.
rounds. So that's pretty much resistance for the entire fight.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Because
And even without that, he still hits hard.
what is each round? 6 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get 10 rounds.
You get 10 rounds with, yeah.
There's some stipulations to it. Like, you can't, if you don't attack something or get hit, you end your rage.
Okay.
But I'm always going to be hitting something.
What's his movement range? Is it greater?
30. It's the same as normal.
Interesting. Okay.
It's because, like, giving big characters that are strong more movement is actually kind of busted.
What kind of modifier numbers has he got?
Oh, this is the thing I wanted to tell you. So we use a
God.
point by system.
His strength is going to be ridiculous.
We use a point by system because that's like the best way to do it. Like,
How
for
does that work?
consistent campaigns. So you have 27 points. I'll put the point by link in the description, just so
So you got
like,
27
so you can
points,
look at
right?
it. But 27 points, and each like point is worth different amounts depending on how high your skill is. So we play 6 to 18 rules, which means you can have the highest you can have is an 18, and the lowest you can have is a 6 in any given stat before racial modifiers. So
Okay,
Tim,
right.
not Tim, sorry. No, Tim has a 6 in intelligence, and he started with 18 in wisdom. That was his like stat distribution,
Uh-huh.
and like a 14 in strength. Sorry, 16 in strength. Burke started with,
Here we go.
after racial modifiers, 18 in strength, 16 in dex, 16 in con, 6 in,
Oh my
charisma
God.
and wisdom.
Wait,
16.
6.
He's got 3 dump stats,
So we got, hang on, so we got 6 in what? Charisma?
wisdom and intelligence.
Oh,
Anything that's
no.
not a physical
Oh,
stat,
no.
he's got a 6 in.
She's literally just fight.
So
He's
Burke's-
literally the ultimate sort of stereotype for dumb warrior that just runs in, smashes through the brick wall, and then keeps smashing until he's basically the Hulk.
He's 100% punch.
Oh yeah.
He's a
Oh,
furry.
yeah.
He's basically a furry goblin-like version of the Hulk with 2 hand axes and a maul.
You should see what hangs on his back. But we'll get to that in a minute. So he's pretty strong. His
Yeah.
backstory
No
is
kidding.
he was previously a soldier, but from the horrors of war he's seen, he became an alcoholic, and it really messed with his head.
Oh, fantastic! So now he's a raging Hulk with PTSD.
Yup. That's why he can only take psychic damage.
So he's a raging alcoholic Hulk with weapons and a strong case of PTSD.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's
This is going very well so far.
I'm just going to correct myself. He can take other types of damage, but like next level, he'll have resistance to all the damage, not psychic. That's his PTSD. Anytime he gets hit with a psychic attack,
Great.
you know,
Yeah.
it's getting real. But he joined 2 sessions after they started. So he started at level 2, while they all started at level 1, but they'd like done some dungeon crawling already.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
He joins.
What's his base weight carry?
His carry weight is, let me do a quick check.
Because that must be
We
pretty high
don't
as
use
well.
encumbrance rules because they just suck. He can base carry it up to 540. His lifting,
Jesus.
though, that's the stuff he can hold on him, Matt. His lifting
Yeah.
capability is a ton
He could
A
lift a
ton.
ton.
without raging.
Oh my god!
What?
Raging doesn't make a
I was
difference, it
gonna
just
say-
makes it easier to
Oh.
lift things.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right? But at 6th level, he'll gain double that. And one of the characters knows enlarge/reduce, so he'll double that again. So just have
So
a 4
at
times
level-
modifier on that, that's 4 tons.
So at level 6, he could lift 4 tons in weight.
Wait,
If he's
how heavy
enlarged.
is he?
Like £360, something like that.
Oh my!
That doesn't count
God.
towards his weight. Like he doesn't lift that. That doesn't count.
So,
Otherwise, there would be characters that weighed more than they could
so
lift.
the base weight of the character is £360. So he can basically lift over 3 times his own body weight.
Yeah. Yeah, he can.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, that's D&D for you, right? Like, the thing is, mages are so powerful, you kind of have to give fighters and barbarians these ludicrous lifting capabilities.
I mean,
Because
yeah,
it's
that
just
is
like,
true.
oh, I can warp reality on a whim. Yeah, I can lift like 200 pounds. Look at me. And it's like, no, you can lift a ton.
Yeah,
Just like
they have
that.
to be. They have to
It's
have
the only way
something.
to balance them out, right? They gotta have some. It's the same reason why early game barbarians are so powerful.
I feel like
They're
this
just
is going to be like with your
machines.
party. It's going to be like, you know how like in the Avengers when like Loki's like, I've got an army, and Tony Stark is just like, we've got a Hulk.
Oh, dude, that's already happening. So
Your party's going to go into any town and be like, this is our friend Burke. We're getting drinks now.
yeah. So he met the party. He was like, he was there to get paid so that he could get booze. That's like his life goal is like more booze and
Nice.
more expensive booze.
Does he get good on intimidation checks? Because I bet your ass he must be
I
intimidating.
don't know if we're using that rule. He does have proficiency in intimidation checks, but if we're using the athletics rule where you can use athletics in place of intimidation, then yeah, he's great. If we're using the charisma rule, no. He's not great.
Okay.
He's got a +0.
Because I
So
can't
he-
imagine a furry goblin that's 7'3" and can lift a ton with ease would not be at least a little bit intimidating. Especially if he's got, if he's a raging alcoholic that's got, a more than 2 hand axes on his person.
So he meets up with the party, and they're like, they've heard that there's a bugbear in here that's like causing havoc. This isn't me. This is a different bugbear.
Sure.
And I rock up with this maul, and I'm like, Josh, you remember 7 Deadly Sins? Like
Yeah.
sloth. Like that. I'm just walking through the
Oh.
dungeon.
With
sort of
his
like-
weapon.
Yeah, just like holding the maul. And he walks into this kobold area, and everyone's there, like, they're screaming, like, bugbear attack, because they can see this guy slowly walk up to them.
Fantastic.
And remember that you have to understand, kobolds are like 3 foot tall. He's literally twice their size.
Wow. That's wow. Yeah.
So he walks up to the party, and they're like, "Who are you?" They're aggressive, right?
Well,
because
I can understand why
You
they
can
would.
imagine, right? They're being told there's a bugbear that released a dragon, and he's here.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for adventurers, specifically the ones that came down here. I need the booze." And, like, long story short, he teams up with them. We'll skip a bit because again, dungeon crawling isn't super interesting to hear. We get to this final room, where there's like a coffin with a troll. He beats the
Right.
hell out of the troll.
I'm not really that surprised, to be honest.
The thing is,
Yeah,
the troll
makes
is meant to be
sense.
relatively difficult, but he hits it once, does a reasonable amount of damage. It runs out of his range. He opportunity attacks, crits,
Yeah.
like absolutely decimates the thing, and then after it's dead, just continues beating it down because he's raging.
Nice.
Then he like everyone else is looking around the room for like secret doors and loot, and he looks in the coffin. He's like, I wonder if there's something in here.
Oh.
Because from his army days, he knows that you hide loot in like a hidden place, like a fortified place with like secret
Right.
boxes and stuff. Right, this is where you would hide your plans. So he looks inside the coffin, but he like looks from the top. He can't get it open. But then
Uh-huh.
Neat, Tom's character, like looks from the side and is like, oh, I can see. Like we can open it from here. So he gets the professor, Phil's character, who's a Goliath fighter. Neat is a gnome artificer. He's pretty small. He rides on the professor's back,
Nice.
right? Because the professor can hold him. The professor yanks it out like really hard, like he stumbles backwards with Neat, and then Burke just goes over and like swipes the loot really quickly, shoves it in his bag. Unfortunately, Neat sees this, and Neat's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't let me see that." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go over here," and like hops over a 10-foot gap, which Neat can't follow over because
Yeah.
Burke can jump 18 feet. Neat can jump less than 10.
Uh-huh.
So Neat grabs the professor, jumps over the gap,
Uh-huh.
and the professor grabs Burke. He's not having this. This is aggressive,
He's not having this.
right? But so in the hole, there's a bunch of spikes. It's a spike trap, basically. If you fall in the hole, you get hit with spikes, and they're standing right on the edge.
Uh-oh.
So I push because I can rage and push. I have advantage on strength checks, which this counts as.
Shocker.
So they fail, and they both fall back into the hole. And they take 18 damage. Neat has 17 health.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
This is an uh-oh moment.
I didn't mean for it to go this far. But we're here now. So
I feel like that
pushing them into a spike pit would kill them.
I feel like that encapsulates an awful lot of Lewis with D&D. I didn't ever anticipate for it to get this far, but we're here now.
Yeah.
let me tell you, this is the start. So this gets resolved. They start to trust Burke, and Neat actually starts riding Burke because, like, that's just what happens. They're like, because Burke and Neat were like, oh, we'll go through here, and they've bonded a bit in like the rests that they've had. They continue through the dungeon, and they get. I'm going to skip to the final area because again, it's just a bunch of fighting. It's a bunch of fighting and looting and a couple of puzzles. Get to this final area. Burke's trying to open a door, like just like off in the distance, and the professor's fighting through this horde of goblins.
Nice.
That like the Burke can't hear because he's too far away. They run back and they're like, "Oh God, we're in a fight." So Burke's like, "Oh, fight!"
Burke hears the word fight and he's like, "Did someone say fight?"
And he's got Longstrider on because Neat gave it to him. So he runs the 40 feet, gets like in range of the enemy. 10-foot range is great.
It does sound like a lot of help.
Instantly.
Crit?
Right? Kills him. But
Oh my God.
The thing is, against a lot of the goblins, provided that he hits, he kills them.
Wow.
Like, against commoners, he can literally punch them to death. Guaranteed kill.
In one punch?
Against non-commoners, like bandits and guards, if he hits them with a weapon and rolls like a 3, he kills them. And he's hit them with a maul, so he's likely to kill them.
Wow.
So he helps with that. They take a little rest because they're injured. Oh, I should mention at this point they're being followed by a guy called Erky Timbers. His little like cleric gnome.
Right.
This will be important later. He's wearing heavy armor. So we go into this next room that we basically just cleared. We're killing all of them in the corridors. There's a bunch of boxes and they're looting all of that. But Burke sees, like, he couldn't open the other door. It was too hard for him. But this leads to the same place. So he busts through the door and it's like, I want to know what's in here. Door closes behind him. Inside, 3 hobgoblins, like a hobgoblin leader and a goblin leader.
Sorry, what did you say? A
Hobgoblin. They're like big goblins. I don't think they're actually related too much, but they're like...
Okay, what's harder, the hobgoblin or the goblin leader?
It's I think the hobgoblins.
Okay.
That doesn't really matter too much. So, at this point, everyone's like, oh no. He's in there alone.
Because
no one followed him. They were all looting. Like, they were looking at the boxes. He just ran into this room.
He's strong, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's strong. So,
in comparison to these guys.
The guy looks at him and he's like, "Oh, you must have been sent by I can't remember the guy's name. It's a load of weird names. It's D&D. You've been sent by this guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been sent by this guy." God, being a bugbear really came in handy. Because they would not have trusted him if he wasn't a bugbear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I've been sent. What's going on? And it's like, oh, I've just been sent to help, mate. I just it's all I know. Right? I've just been sent to follow your orders. I haven't been filled in.
Sure.
I'm here. At this point, in the other room, some goblin bandits come out and start fighting the others because they hear some ruckus. They like deal with them pretty easily.
Yeah.
except for one. They like catapult a weapon at him using the catapult spell, and it makes a lot of noise. And Dern is he's the leader. He's like, what was that? What's going on? Like, oh, there was some children playing or something. They were making like a load of noise. I just assumed that you didn't want me to kill them. My bad, I guess. And he's like, oh, Grenell, go and deal with this, which is like the little goblin leader. So she goes out and deals with it. And they fight.
I bet that ended well for him.
Well, Grenell's a woman, first of all. So she goes out.
I beg your pardon.
And she sees them and like calls to Dern, like, Dern, intruders or something. And he's like, so he says to Burke, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. You can trust her, right? And he's like, yeah, I can trust her. But like, you came through. What's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I just came through. He's like, go and help her out. You know, it's just like see if we can trust you. So he goes out. They get a glimpse of Erky Timbers, the gnome.
Yeah.
And Bert closes the door, walks over to Grenell, and just caves her head in. Instantly.
Whoa.
Right? And he knows that Erky's been seen. So he tells Erky, give me your weapon and like a piece of your armor. So Erky does this and like runs off.
Right.
And he walks back in. Well, I shouldn't walk back in. The goblins come out. And they're like, so what happened? What is Grenell did? And I'm like, there was this... He like killed Grenell and ran off. I managed to grab his weapon and a piece of his armor, but I couldn't get him entirely. And they're like, oh, all right. We'll search for him. You come back with me. So the rest of the party at this point is hiding in like in the boxes.
Okay.
Burke walks back inside with Dern. Inside this throne room, by the way, I should mention, there's a massive hole with like vines going down that lead to the next floor.
Yeah.
Right.
And Dern's like, you should go down the hole and see like whatever this character's name is. Like, he actually wants me to go down. He does trust me.
Yeah.
Kinda. Worst case, like I get killed by whatever's down there. That's his thinking, I imagine.
Yeah.
Just I like walk over and I shake his hand. I'm like, all right, I'll head down. At this point, the hobgoblins shout like, "We found them, intruders!" So Burke immediately tries to push him down the hole.
Oh my god!
Right, it's all coming back. This is Burke's signature move. The 5-foot shove.
I find it so ironic. It's like out of all the might this warrior possesses, his most like effective move is just pushing them off.
I should mention this guy is also a hobgoblin, so he's still pretty strong.
I mean, yeah.
So it doesn't work. I failed the contest. I rolled terribly, genuinely terribly. I rolled like sub 10. I have a +6 on this.
Wow.
Chances, I know, right? So he's like, what was that? And I'm like, I'm just joking. So he has terrible charisma.
What?
I'm forced to make a persuasion roll. I like, as a person, I said it a bit more persuasive than that. I'm just kidding, mate. I head down.
Okay.
I roll a 17. He rolls a 3. Perfect. He believes me.
Oh my! So you failed.
Wait! Hang on. So you basically tried to push him off a ledge that would kill him, fail, and then you just turn around and go, "Oh,
I've
mate,"
actually
and he
told the story
believes
slightly
you.
wrong. I'm sorry, I've told the story slightly wrong. I tried to push him before the hobgoblins found the guys, because I was the only one in the room with him.
But even
And that
still,
didn't work. That's why I made the persuade
You
persuade
basically
check.
tried to push a goblin off of a ledge that would kill him, failed,
A
and then
hobgoblin.
gone, fine, a hobgoblin. You failed, and then just turned around and gone, only joking, mate.
It's a prank.
The cameras are here, and here.
It didn't actually matter, though, because immediately after this,
Did he
the
tell him it was a
hobgoblins
YouTube
found
video?
them. Yeah, I told him it was a YouTube video. It was like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
experiment. The hobgoblins found the guys, and I was like, I really wish you hadn't heard that and tried to push him again.
Oh my god.
Didn't work.
You failed twice.
Yeah, I failed twice.
How
It was real bad.
was the roll?
I was raging, by the way, so I had advantage on these.
Wait, you were raging and you still failed?
Yeah, it was bad.
How do you do that?
It's bad. It was not good.
No kidding.
So, initiative rolls, because combat started. Burke is just before. They're all the same, but he has higher dex, so he gets to go first.
Nice.
Boom! Straight in the chest. Kicks him down the hole.
Okay.
Like, he's gone.
Just gone.
He fell down the 80-foot hole.
Okay, yeah, he's dead.
So Burke runs back out, gets back into the fight. There's
Actually, that's an interesting point. How far does Burke have to fall before he dies?
At most. Oh, actually, here's a funny thing. Burke can fall infinite distance if he gets lucky.
What?
If he gets lucky.
Yeah,
How
so
lucky
terminal
does he
velocity in
get?
D-
Lucky.
terminal velocity in D&D is counted at 20d6, right? So that's like it. You can't take any more fall damage than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Burke has 23 health.
Oh my god.
So
in
he's
theory,
have
he
to...
could.
Oh,
If you're-
He'd have to be
my-
so lucky.
Oh
He could tank
my
it.
god. So he could fall at terminal velocity. He could fall
He'd
at terminal
only take 8d6 falling down the hole anyway.
So he could fall at terminal velocity for as long as he wanted to, and if he rolled ones on all the d6s, it doesn't matter how far he fell, he would actually be able to survive.
If he's raging, on average, he survives.
So as long as he's drank, as long as he has a bit of that crazy drink before he hits the ground, he could probably survive.
Yeah, the 80-foot fall, he'd take 8d6. On average, that's the 8 times 3.5. That's 28 damage. He has 23 health. If he rages just before he hits the bottom, he's fine. He resists the bludgeoning damage, gets set down to 4. Well, he takes 14 damage instead. He's still fine at that point. He's alive. That's provided he takes the average.
That's ridiculously broken.
Right? So we've got these hobgoblins left, right? They're called Jim, Fred, and Coulson. So
Sure.
Jim and Fred die. Everyone's trying to kill Coulson, and I'm like, nah, I'm the leader now. Knock Coulson out non-lethally.
It's like Captain Phillips. I am the captain now.
Because my thinking here is I can pacify the situation here, right? Like, it's fine.
Sorry, you can pacify the situation.
I tell him,
a 7'3" alcoholic PTSD enraged Hulk is the pacifier.
I tell him I killed Burke. Not Burke, I killed Dern. I'm in charge now. And he's like, you killed Dern, takes a swing at me, just completely misses. Like, it doesn't even matter. I whack him in the face, because everyone else misses their attacks on him.
With a fist or with a weapon?
With a weapon, he's 1 health, doesn't matter anyway. Take him down. We've now got a hobgoblin hostage. He's called Coulson. I'm gonna avenge him. This was the plan. This is why I wanted to non-lethal him.
You just want to do the Hulk thing with Loki.
No, that's not at all. I wanted to, because Coulson dies in Avengers.
Oh, sorry. Now you. Oh, right. I get what you mean. I thought.
But I'm going to have him come back and have his own TV show.
When you said you wanted to avenge him, I thought you meant like do the whole like thing with Loki and Hulk in Avengers.
No, it's dumb. I hate that scene.
I like it.
You
I
hate
also like
that
the
scene?
It's just
I
not
love
funny.
it.
Like, everyone goes on about, oh, it's such a funny scene. It's like, yeah, it's not. It's like, it's
I mean,
good,
obviously,
but, like,
it's a
shut
little
up.
less
It's
funny once you
insane.
watch it. Do you know what I like? I like the callback they did in Ragnarok, where then
It doesn't feel so good now, does it?
Hulk does it. The Thor and Loki's like, yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah. That was a good film.
It was a good film. And that's where the session ended, guys.
Right. Well, that was quite eventful.
Yeah.
Neat writing. It's all fun.
So cut long story short, Lewis's new character is a 7'3" furry goblin that's got PTSD and raging alcoholism that's practically indestructible if he gets lucky, ridiculously aggressive but also dumb and uncharismatic as hell, and is also very good at pushing people off of ledges.
He's done the most charisma checks so far.
And how many has he passed?
100%.
Because he's done one.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, okay.
Well, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he passed a charisma check is just impressive with his modifiers. I mean,
I know, right? He got a 19 and got set to 17.
So, well done.
Yeah. Persuasive guy. And I'd like to tell you about my next character that if I die, and I think Josh knows what this is going to be. And this is less serious.
Okay. Wait, how would Josh know?
Josh, if you would care to take a guess at what you think my next character is going to be based on.
I'm sure we talked. I remember talking about D&D before, but
Just take a quick look on the 22nd of February.
oh yeah.
I have no idea.
That's
what
gonna
they're
be
going
a
on
great
about, right?
one.
So I'm gonna.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I will see if you can guess the thing that I'm basing this on. So I'm gonna play a Warforged, which is like a
what?
silvery a Warforged, a silvery mech. It doesn't sleep, but it's like it's got other downsides.
So Terminator.
No, so it's gonna be a Warforged monk. So it's really fast, and it's gonna be a Sun Soul monk. So it's like a persuasive, like healing kind of monk, conflict resolution. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Right, and he's gonna be called Nam Ispep.
Okay.
And he's gonna have so his right arm and his head silverish, but the rest of him is blue.
Right. Okay.
Who is this character based off of?
Am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
I doubt he would.
Wait. Sorry. His right arm is gone.
No, his right arm is silverish, and
sorry, his right arm's
his
silver.
left arm and down is blue,
And his left arm is blue.
and the rest of his body, his torso and his legs, but his head is also silver.
What the hell is this character based on?
I'll give you 3 guesses. Just throw 'em out.
Well, the first thing I thought was Terminator because you said silvery mech.
It's not
And I thought
Terminator.
Terminator, but when you mention the colours, blue arm and silver arm, and I don't know, I can't think of anything that kind of. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna send you a picture, and I want you to tell me that this is the same energy.
Oh god.
For people who don't know,
Oh
there will be links in the show notes. I'm
I
playing
really
Pepsi
hope
Man.
this is a good character.
That's a good one.
So, you might be wondering,
you caught me off guard there.
what does this character do? What's his thing? Well, he's a Sun Soul monk, which means he specializes in persuasion and healing people. And as we all know, and Caitlyn Jenner proved herself, you can solve any conflict with a nice, cold, refreshing can of Pepsi Max. Or just normal Pepsi. So he's running around giving people Pepsi, smacking them in the face. Pepsi Man, now it's Pep.
I also want does Pepsi have a theme?
Pepsi Man has a theme.
Well, I mean a musical theme because I want that to be
No, he has
Does
a
it?
theme.
Because I want that.
I'll send you a
that.
link.
Okay, so I want that I want that jingle to basically be played every time he enters a room.
No, that would be dumb.
entrance music.
Nah, that would be too much. This is actually I'll send it to the group chat just so that everyone can have a nice, refreshing look at.
Does he also?
Let the theme be the last thing anyone
Anyone hears
that
before
Pepsi
they
Man
die.
kills.
Yeah. Does he also have to have an R next to the logo on his body just to make sure he's
No.
copyrighted?
That would be too obvious.
No, just be he has to give a whole copyright sermon before he actually starts playing every time.
I love it, but I hate it so much. I hate this song.
It's great.
I haven't heard this before, I don't think.
My first thought when I was going to play this was I'm going to have to buy some cans of Pepsi so that every time I do something big, I'm going to crack open a cold one. I physically can't drink it in game though because the Warforged doesn't drink.
Oh, damn. Oh my god,
Well,
I just started
it's such
listening
a
to this
meme.
song. What the hell is this?
This is Pepsi Man.
I've never heard this. When was this made? The 80s by some sort of garage
It was
studio recording agency in the middle
This
of
is a video
nowhere
game.
in Utah?
It's a video game.
When was
Was this from a video game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pepsi Man
It
video game.
sounds like it.
This is what played as you ran along.
Wait, there's a Pepsi Man video game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1999.
This
Wait,
doesn't
what
sound
month?
like 1999. This sounds
4th of
like
March.
1989.
Pepsi Man is older than I am.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
wow.
Older than Matt too.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, hang on, wait. When in 1999?
It was March, right?
Yeah. 4th of March.
Damn it, he's older than I am.
Stupid, sexy Pepsi Man.
That doesn't sound like it's from the 90s. That sounds like it's from the 80s.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on the character?
Perfect.
Well done. Congratulations. You must be very proud of
This
your
came up because-
desperate need for advertisement that is so strong. Not only do we give advertised eulogies, and not only do we
Oh God, yeah.
and not only do we want to advertise on child soldiers, but now we also want to do it in D&D sessions as well.
Yep. So this came up because I was talking to Tom, and he was like, "Oh, I was running some description system," and I was like, "You can run one where everyone is playing like mascots for companies. So like you've got Pepsi Man and like what's the Cheetah Chester or whatever it is."
Please say you face some troll at some point that's got like the Coca-Cola logo on it.
Well, nothing's happened with this, but I said you just run one like that. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. We could do that. And then there's so many like games I want to run. Like I want to run some Honey Heist. Well, I want to play in Honey Heist. I don't really want to run it too much. Honey Heist, where you're bears and you're participating in a heist.
Right, okay.
It's like, that's the whole thing.
Sure. Okay.
Right, and you all have different skills. It's all random. It's very, very fun and interesting.
Sounds it.
From what you
got, like,
showed me,
language human
it
speech.
does seem kind of fun.
Yeah, I'll grab that for Matt to read. Or like
Oh, God.
go on this tirade. Where did I send it, Josh?
You sent a PDF to me.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh, that sucks. How am I going to get that over? Josh, send him this.
Okay.
The way Lewis said that is almost like Josh was some sort of like surf or something.
I actually already had it. I already had it. So I want to run Honey Heist, but I also want to run Strahd, and I want to do like there's so many like.
What the
tabletop-
hell is this? This is like written in like crayon.
Oh yeah, this was written in like an hour by some guy on a single sheet of paper. Very simple game.
Do I have to read it now?
I mean, you can if you want. You don't have to. It's just like a fun little thing you can do for a couple hours. It's like one shot stuff. It's not
Right. Okay. I'll
it's
leave
not
it
big
for
enough to
now.
run a campaign. So like there's so guys, you should really get into tabletop RPGs. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like that is what you're saying.
They're very fun.
Yeah. It.
Well, I think
Apparently
I,
they're
They
think
do
so.
seem fun.
well, I mean, I think it depends on the party. I think when it comes,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
when
the
it comes
party
to
you've run with,
yeah,
not great.
yeah, when it comes to tabletop games in general, playing board games in general with people, it very much depends on the people you play the board games with, especially when it comes to like games like D&D, because obviously it requires a lot of role play. And you know, if you're playing with people that don't really get into it and a bit dreary and boring, then the game can get dreary and boring.
Yeah.
I'm saying a lot. I'm really giving away a lot about what happened when we were playing D&D before, aren't
Yeah.
I?
Well,
Yeah, you got them arrested by not listening to what was happening.
Yeah, I mean, we all didn't really know what we were doing a lot.
I found it very difficult to like get into it, like the whole role playing aspect of it.
There's like a difference between role playing and voice acting, which is an issue I'm having now. Which is like I don't
Yeah.
really do any voices for my characters, so like it's hard to tell when I'm in and out of character. But I will like converse as if I'm in character.
Meanwhile, I would probably be the only person. I'd be like, this is probably. I think this is something that drives Lewis a bit up the wall. Is I'm constantly doing voices.
But you're not doing voices. You don't.
Well, not now. I'm not. But like, especially when we're in person, I'm always doing voices.
That's not what I mean, though. It's different. Just like doing weird voices and like doing a voice for a character.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Like I can sit here and do like a little this. It's not. You can't do that for D&D. It doesn't work.
No, you can't. Yeah.
Like someone will stab you in the throat just to kill your character. It's infuriating.
And also, well, and in real life in Lewis's case.
Yeah. Like it's hard to get one that you can do consistently and fits your character and won't drive everyone nuts.
Hence why it's so good when you watch like voice actors doing
like Critical Role. I'm not talking about Critical Role though. I hate it.
Really?
No, I like it.
I haven't watched it any in a while, but I do remember enjoying it. I feel like I need to watch more.
I don't enjoy it very much. The problem is, it's fun to watch them in like the great moments they have, because they have some genuinely fantastic moments. The problem is, there's a lot of actual D&D in between, and actual D&D isn't super fun to watch.
Yeah, no, that's true, yeah.
If you're invested in the characters, yeah, it's fun to watch, but like you can't problem solve or like role play or it's in many ways just more fun to play D&D than watch.
To do it on YouTube, you basically would need to cut together like a compilation of best bits from the session, and basically cut out all the D&D bits. Because
so many things happen in those.
But that's the problem.
Them rolling persuasion or intimidate, like that stuff's fine, or like them rolling investigation. It's combat that really kills it.
Yeah,
it's combat and shopping and bookkeeping and like. It's things that have to happen in D&D for like any stakes or like continuity to occur. But man, does it kill the pace!
I think that's also the annoying thing. Well, that's the problem when you start out with D&D. It's probably better once you play it enough. You become experienced enough that you can probably get through combat to a certain extent quicker because you already know.
No, absolutely not. Well, combat gets longer.
Well, because I would have. Well, but I mean, like, I think the problem that I found is that because we didn't know what we were doing, it wasn't necessarily that combat was taking forever, it's that everyone was taking forever.
It's a genuine issue with, like, learning, because D&D's big, and if you start on a spellcaster, like a full spellcaster, it's kind of rough.
Because, like, when we were doing it, we'd be, like, in the middle of combat, and then, like, everyone would be goofing around and not doing anything. And, you know, like, Pet Ben and all that would be like, you know.
I like that you've forgotten all of their names already.
I can't remember their names.
I don't remember all their names.
You were Arabin though, I remember that, and you were Gumbo Jones.
Was that my first one?
No, your first one.
No, that wasn't the first one.
Flint Frostbeard.
The first one you were the dwarf. Yeah, that was the crazy
Flint
barbarian.
Frostbeard. And then
you
I
were
was
the crazy
Gumbo
dwarf
Jones.
that managed to somehow tank everything that was thrown at you.
It was ludicrous. I just could not roll well against you.
No.
He just survived.
But against Alyssa, I would like immediately like.
I know.
Oh, you got 18 AC? Yeah, no, you don't. I hit you with a 23. So what's it got to plus? Oh, it's got a +4 to hit. And it's like, oh, so you just rolled against my AC? Yeah, pretty much. Just
it was incredible.
Oh, I crit you. Yeah, get wrecked.
Yes, sorry. But like, I think it was just like because people would be goofing around and not necessarily going through stuff quickly. It wasn't that combat was taking forever. Like if combat took a fair amount of time, but we were all going around the table fairly quickly, I think it would be better. But obviously, because we didn't know what we were
is
doing,
not a good place to start.
Okay, yeah.
Because Tom's running it now for the group that I play this other session with, and they're great guys.
Is this Tom or Tom that you call Tom because you can't forget? You keep forgetting his actual name and.
I know his actual name. He's called Dan.
There's
actually a problem. He knows there's a Tom in this session. There's a real Tom.
Oh my god! So there's a Tom and a Dan Tom.
Yeah, he wasn't there this week, the real Tom, though, so I could just call Tom.
Does Dan Tom... Is he okay with the fact that you call him Tom?
That's what he's called now, yeah.
So he actually illegally changed his name.
Just because Lewis kept calling him.
At first, it took a little bit of like, oh, he told me his name is Dan. It's hard to like call him Tom. Now I just call him Tom. There's not even like, there's no hesitation.
This is what Lewis does. Lewis actually changes your own view of your own name. You're right, I should be called Tom.
Well, no, I think of him. I assume he thinks of himself as Dan still.
Nah, I don't know. I think you might have brainwashed him. I think you might have coerced him.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
The thing is, he's running that, and like, it's terrible. It's really like not good. There's no fun NPCs. The quests aren't overly inspired. It's a terrible start to like baby's first D&D, which is what Fandelver is presented as.
Right.
Like, Waterdeep is better. Oh, the Waterdeep is really hard. Like, the first encounters are like, oh, go and fight some intellect barrows that can instantly kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy. Wrecked. Strahd is equally bad.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
Frankly, a lot of the modules aren't great for new players.
Would you
Yeah.
say that it might almost be better to
kinda
actually
sucks.
create your own as a DM?
Nah, there's so many things that go wrong with creating your own. So, people who don't know, I ran Fandelver up until about level 3, and then they wanted to not do Fandelver, and they were like, let's just go and do our own thing. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever.
Is this? Are you talking about us?
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay.
Just remember that the tavern got nuked.
Oh
You
my
blew it up. You destroyed the wall, and then you ran away, refusing to pay for it.
Yeah. Didn't I also try to get? Yeah, it was that the one
That
where I
wasn't
also
you.
got-
That was.
I was going to say, which was the one where I managed to get us arrested because I went up to the guard?
That was. I think the same.
Because
Campaign.
I was being pretty stupid.
That was
I-
the same campaign.
I was gonna, yeah, was that the same campaign? Because I do remember at one
It's
point.
later on though.
At one point, I was fairly stupid, and wasn't it that we were like trying to sneak past some guards, and I went up and talked to them?
Yeah, no, you were trying to get through, and like you got through, and then you said, "Hey, we're just trying to get this stuff through," and it was like a load of stolen goods. Like,
it was literally the equivalent of the burglar going up to the police and going, "Excuse me, I've got all this stuff that I've just stolen. Do you know where the exit is?"
yeah, it's just like you just got arrested. I don't know what you expected.
The thing is, I just remember Lewis's face when I said that I was going to go up and talk to the guards. Lewis was like, but.
Everyone
what?
else was like completely flabbergasted. It was like, "Oh, is there a plan here?" And there just wasn't. It's like, all right, I guess you're arrested now. Good job.
Tell you what, though, threw Lewis off his
Congrats.
guard. Because I just remember Lewis was like, "Matt, you're an idiot."
Yeah, you were a complete moron. Like,
I
wasn't even
learned my
close.
lesson.
Wasn't even close.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't even learn my lesson. Don't you remember at one point we went up a mountain and we were in a forest area and there was that like night guard figure. And we were just going to let him be. And then I went up to him and said hi. And then he immediately started attacking us.
Which one?
I'm fairly sure that was the same campaign. There was like some sort of like
There was like a
knight
there were two
or some figure.
animated
Yeah.
armors. I remember this.
Oh, so that
But,
was
like,
it. It was an animated army, yeah, and it was like it
wouldn't
wasn't
talk to
doing
obviously it
anything.
wouldn't
Yeah,
talk to you because it's not real. Yeah, so this was the thing. So I'd ran like my own homebrewy thing. They're the same rules, but like I just ran my own story. And the big plan was for like it to last a while. Delusions of grandeur, I'll tell you. My God, you got to like 7. Like,
apparently the end
really
thing was
close.
supposed to be a giant golden dragon.
No, that's not even close. So basically, there was this guy who was going around freeing a bunch of ancient dragons that were trapped for like hundreds of years.
The usual.
And like this was one of like their tombs. So like the entire area was swampland, and it was like acidic and terrible. And you would walk up to this cave, and there would be these animated armors guarding it. Because like the guy actually wasn't very strong; he was just like smart enough to break the seals. So you fought them, and you were like, "Well, if they were that hard, we don't want to go into the cave." You didn't go into the cave. It's like, all right, fine. He walked off. Like, it's not that big of a deal because like I ran the guy as if like he was still doing the thing. So he still set the dragon free. He got the reward, and then you saw that dragon flying away.
yeah.
So I was talking to Dan about this. I mean Tom, and I was like, "Is that like setting stakes too high too fast?" No, that's fine. And I'm like, "Okay, I didn't run that poorly. Getting some validation here." And then you guys went up the
needed to
hill and
validate yourself.
you met Lacarth, which wasn't his real name as well. It's my favourite thing about that is that everyone calls him Lacarth. That was not his name.
Wait, was that the dragon?
Yeah, he introduced himself as Lacarth. That's because dragons don't reveal their names, like, ever.
That's like one of the whole points of them. Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, he's super strong." He's like, "Yeah, this is absurd." No, he was just a dragon, like, secretly the whole
you
time.
said. I was going to say yeah. I thought you said like.
But everyone thought he was just some
right.
really powerful guy, and it was like, he is, but he's not a guy. He's a dragon.
Wasn't he like CR20?
Yeah, he was like CR24. He was a good guy though. He was
Yeah.
meant to help you because like he couldn't actually defeat the dragons himself, so
Right.
he needed your help to like seal them and stop them and gather forces.
Yeah, no, I do
And
remember.
like he
I
saw
do-
you and
yeah.
he was like, "This is a good. I could maybe if these guys last long enough, they could do it." And he was basically, you guys assumed that he was just looking for you. It's like, nah, he had like 30 groups like, doing this stuff.
Nice.
He had like a lot of eggs and lots of baskets.
Nice.
And then were you going to go around and you're going to fight all these dragons eventually, and then like the campaign imploded for some reason. I can't imagine why. I wonder who caused that, Matt.
No one?
Yeah, I don't know why. What happened?
Nothing?
Yeah, okay. Campaign just ended. Who knows why?
Yeah.
I was a terrible DM though. Still am.
It could be worse.
Yeah, I could be.
We weren't
sure it
exactly
could
the
have been
greatest
worse.
party either.
Yeah, it's rough.
When you have Pet Ben in your D&D party, it's
Very apathetic to most things in life. I'll ask him, hey, what do you want to do? And he's like, don't know. Great, thanks. Being
It was the
considerate.
same with me. I just had no idea like what to do.
It's hard to know.
Yeah,
but with Josh, it was funny because I don't know how, but Josh always seemed to luck into interesting ways to ways to make his character interesting. Like Josh wouldn't intentionally try to do stuff, but he would just, as a dwarf barbarian, end up like one-shotting stuff or like surviving and tanking ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yeah,
but it's a barbarian lifestyle.
Yeah.
Barbarians are like notorious for their ability to just like
but I
get
don't know.
hit
Josh would just somehow manage to make it interesting. With Pet Ben, it was just a combination of just fooling around, and not doing actually anything within the D&D storyline, and just not doing anything outside of it either.
I'm Pet Ben, if you're listening, sorry.
You
This is
are.
also you're basically being Vinty a bit.
He may have changed. I don't know.
it's
He hasn't, because you played with him in April.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Okay, fine. Yeah, he hasn't changed.
Yeah. God, I had such high hopes for that second campaign, and it just like
I think it was because we were trying to play it online. So another thing about
I can play online. I think it's fine. It's just
yeah, I think
I ran some things not great, and like I don't really like writing NPCs because
you need a strong internet connection that won't break.
Oh yeah, we
because
didn't
otherwise
have
that
that.
ruins everything.
yeah.
And then
running it.
also you need everyone to be like focused, because like obviously in person.
But if you've
it's
got a
lot
computer
easier
next to you, you just like, tab out for a second. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Also,
but, like,
tabletop
in
is not the
person,
best way
it's
to
a
do it.
lot
Roll
easier.
20 is absolutely the best way to do it.
There were a lot of
Yeah, no,
problems
I
with
agree.
tabletop.
I agree. Yeah.
Because on Roll 20 you can have macros. So you basically have your own character sheet that like it's designed for, and you just click on a button and do the thing for you. Or roll the dice, roll the damage.
Oh,
Probably
really?
what actually might be
Oh,
the
that is
best
cool.
what actually might be the easiest way to do it is if you actually did it in person on laptops.
No, it wouldn't. It would suck.
Nah.
I don't know.
Roll
I just
20
feel
is
like in
infinitely
person
better.
is-
I mean, like, what? So you're in person, but storing all of the information stuff on laptops.
Yeah, like I just feel like in person doing D&D in person is just a lot easier in terms of the interactions between each other.
Oh, I'm not going to
It's a lot
fight
easier.
that. That's absolutely true. I
Yeah.
love in-person
It's-
sessions.
In-person sessions are so
When
much
you
better.
see,
'cause-
like,
yeah,
You see someone's body morph as they start doing things. You're like, that guy's.
and it's just easier to get people focused on the game, and like you know that they're focused because you can see them and what they're doing. And
It's a bit hard in person though sometimes because a lot of information you don't just have on hand. So you see people looking at their phone. It's like he could be texting. He could just be looking up something that might be important.
This is what I mean. Like, what I think you could do is have it in person, but with them having like laptops or something with them, so that they can do like all the.
Tom uses a laptop to do his stuff.
To like do all the technology stuff, because I agree. Like doing certain stuff within D&D technology.
I think rolling is just way better. Honestly, like all paper, I think is actually optimal.
Really, you
because the visceral feeling of rolling dice, it makes everything so much better. Like if you click a button to roll, there's no tension in like seeing the numbers.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
no,
tension
I agree.
really matters in like building hype.
Especially
Like,
when you fail roll. If you fail,
this done thing would not have been as interesting to the party. The moment I rolled, like I crit him down the hole. That moment was like everyone was cheering, like yes, that was great.
Like when
everyone was invested in
Josh,
that moment.
Yeah, or it's like when Josh managed to always tank the damage, and we just watch him ridiculously roll high. Like he would get like 18 consecutively. We'd be like, Josh, how are you doing this? And he'd be like,
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like that tension in person wouldn't act. I think it would have been even higher because you would have seen it roll. There would have been quiet. Everyone's faces you could have like seen.
Yeah.
Like it's so much. When
nice.
Vizu died, Rob like grabbed the dice he was rolling for damage, rolled them on the table, dead silence.
It's just dead.
Right? And it was just like, oh.
Oh.
And there was this sort of defeated look on everyone's faces.
It's just like, oh no.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, we need to reevaluate our life choices right now.
Yeah. It's fine. Tim's now been introduced.
Good old Tim. Is he still in the back of that Triceratops?
No, that's Wardlow.
Oh, sorry.
No, we couldn't take it with
Wardlow.
us until we find the secret entrance.
Oh, damn.
Which we, like, from a metagaming perspective, we know is there, because it takes, like, 6 months of playing to get down to level 5, and we have a tavern up top, and we have quests with people up top. So, like, we must have the ability to come out when we get to Skullport, I think.
Right, okay.
Which is the 3rd floor town.
Uh-huh.
I really like dungeon crawl. Like, Rob's really good at dungeon crawls. Like, what he lacks in RP, which he does lack some in RP, like, he's very mechanically driven.
Okay. I think when
Fantastic dungeon crawler.
I mean, if when I get back to the UK, would we ever consider doing a D&D session?
Would we consider doing one?
Well,
Honestly,
I mean, like, with different people, though. Like,
Here's the
it
thing,
could be
Matt.
us three, but I think if we added some other people...
the problem is, I would refuse to invite you to any session. Like, I would, like, if I said to Tom, oh, I know a guy who wants to play, and it was you, I would say, he's too unreliable. And like, that's actually the reality of it, is that, like, you need very consistent people to do D&D.
I mean, yeah,
It's not like, oh, I can
well,
turn up, like, once everything. Like, you can't really be late either. You have to be on time.
Well, yeah. Well, I can turn up and everything. I think it was just the
Matt,
fact...
you turned up to this 40 minutes late.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But, I mean, in person, I'm usually fairly good. Like, when I actually...
You turned up an hour and a half late to one of our D&D sessions. I was at my house.
Did I?
Yes.
I do remember he was more consistent. He did turn up late a few times, but
Okay,
he was
okay.
more
And he also just
consistent.
didn't turn up a lot
If
of
I'm
weeks.
interested in doing something... Okay, here's the thing. My brain gets bored very easily.
That doesn't justify anything.
I'm not trying to justify, I'm trying to explain. Again, reasons, not excuses. My brain gets bored very easily. So if I'm interested in something and want to do it, I'll do it. The problem is maintaining my attention span. I'm like a 5-year-old.
Maybe D&D's not for you, Matt.
I
I mean,
know.
I would say give it a go with, like if you find an RPG sock, or, like, find an... I'm almost convinced in, like, where you live there is an RPG, like, place.
I don't think
There is.
D&D's the problem. I just think that if it's... I just think it was the people we were with, quite honestly. I think if it was interesting... I don't know. I think with different people it might be a bit more interesting. I don't know.
Okay, I've looked. There's 5 game stores where you live.
Right, okay.
So you could go to any one of those. Oh, some of these are video games. And they don't have great reviews. There's a couple of good ones.
All I'm saying is that if we tried it with different people, I think the outcome might be a bit different.
I wouldn't like to DM. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you
Yeah.
would have to.
Yeah, you'd need ADM, though.
Yeah, that's true.
There are some, like, genuinely, like, good one-shots out there, though, for, like, non-D&D stuff. Like, there was... I think I've explained it before. The Magic the Gathering card game.
I don't think
But,
I've ever
like-
tried it.
No, not actually Magic the Gathering. It's the Magic the Gathering cards, but you,
Yeah, I know of it.
No, not the game. This is the thing.
Oh.
You use the cards to play a different game,
Oh, okay, right. Now.
right? So you use the artwork on the cards to, like, determine what your spells can do. These are your spells.
Oh, I remember
Uh-huh.
this. I remember
Right?
you talking
It was
about
so
this.
fun. It didn't work long term, but, like, we summoned God. We, like, dealt with the Lich. It was great fun. It was a good, like, bonding experience. Like,
We
you
summoned
not run it
God,
twice in
you
a row.
know.
Yeah, we did. We
We just wanted a quick Q&A.
we asked. He made us a morsel.
Nice. That's how
Well, not even that. He made us self-actualizing. So if we thought we could do something, we could.
So,
That was the-
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
The session ended there, though. That was, like, the ending.
That's a
Is,
little bit
like-
broken. That I'll admit. That's
But that was the ending.
a little
That was,
bit
like, we
broken.
finished the campaign there.
Really.
Oh, it was one shot. So the whole thing was, like, you know, it was ludicrous to begin with. Like, I was wielding a piano. That was my weapon. It was dumb.
Behold The mighty piano.
Yeah, she was called Sally as well. I think I've been through this on the podcast.
Did you name the piano Sally?
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Why would I not? Like, it was a fun thing.
Must have been very
I wouldn't
interesting
say
when you said that you were going to go and play with Sally. Sally.
Well, yeah. Like, it's not the kind of thing you can run, like, a lot, but, like, if you have a variety of cards and a variety of settings and, like, some guy just wants to fill a week, that'd be, like, okay to do.
I think
Honey Host as well.
That's probably the stuff I would be more into.
I don't think you would. You'd get bored
less
of it because they're all
serious
very the same. There's less serious than there's what you want, Josh, which is just, like, ludicrous stuff, and then you would get bored because, like...
Well, yeah, not for too long.
It's the same problem with evil campaigns. Is that
Josh basically wants D&D Saints Row 4 style.
It's also boring.
Well, not exactly Saints Row 4.
It's a similar issue with evil campaigns, where you're playing an evil campaign, you're playing chaotic evil, like, I just like doing evil things just because, right, the psychopaths. And there's only so many times you can torture someone or kill someone or, like, burn down an orphanage or, like, whatever, before it's just like, oh, yeah, I've done this. This is why chaotic neutral is, like, a way better version, because, like, I do what I do because I want to, but also because it benefits me.
So you're not a psychopath, you're a selfish psychopath.
I mean, like, Burke's a chaotic neutral character, which is borderline chaotic evil if, like, you're actually playing D&D, is there's a distinct boundary between all of the things except chaotic neutral, chaotic evil, because they're just, like, a spectrum of the same, like, play style.
Nice.
It's sort of like, I'm chaotic neutral, I do what I want because I do, and it's chaotic evil, I do what I want because I like being mean. That's the difference. And it's just like, you can't do that stuff all the time. You need it to, like, it's the recent critical role, is that I like the fun moments, but it's not always fun because it can't be. It physically can't be.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
So you run into this major issue of, like, oh, I want to do some fun, silly things. Like, I want to ride down, like, a river on a surfboard that I've made out of, like, a shield. Like, cool. But if I let you do that once, that's now a mechanic.
Yeah.
I guess
now you're running with a lot of mechanics that don't mesh well and really break the game.
You set precedent.
Yeah. I guess it's best to try and have fun with, like, everything that's already there.
Yeah, like, I mean, Burke breaks down every door he can find, right? But, like, there are even times when Burke goes, oh, okay, right, I can't break down the door, it's magic.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't just smash away through every problem, you can't just, like... You can't be clever in every problem, too, I think is a big thing, is that, like...
I think
because you've got a fun solution doesn't mean it's a valid solution. But also, don't put puzzles in D&D, they're not fun. Seriously, don't.
I know, I agree with that, because it takes forever. But also, I think that what also I like with Critical Role is the fact that they have, like, background music and stuff, and, like...
that ruins it. They like, not with Critical Role specifically, but that's because it's a production.
Yeah, like, obviously that's very difficult, but, like, the extra production stuff of, like, music or background sounds or, like...
It doesn't, you forget about it. That's the problem, right? Is that, like, the DM doesn't do it enough, or they do it a lot, and you don't care, because, like, frankly, I've never actually played and been like, man, the background music really fit. Because in the mythical 12-hour session, or whatever it was, 9 and a bit, 10 and a bit, whatever, like, we had background music, and we just got sick of it. Because it was, like, basically muffled our voices.
Right, okay. Oh, as in you were doing it online?
No, we were doing it in person. We were just playing the music on, like, a laptop or a TV. But,
okay.
Like, when you play that, you sacrifice clarity of, like, being able to speak. Because the music sort of disrupts it a little bit.
I'm not saying you have to have it loud.
Thing. If you don't, you won't hear it because you're all speaking loudly to talk to each other. If you can hear it, you can't hear each other as well. And it's far more important to be able to hear each other with clarity and, like...
Yeah, fair enough.
It would be weird to have it on all the time as well.
We were in a fight. It was like, you know...
Okay. I guess...
It was like ambient battle. It was like Witcher 3 battle sounds, I think.
Okay. I mean, I'd see that being okay.
It just really, like, it doesn't add anything, really. You think it does. It doesn't. Dungeon sounds work, because they're very
if you were watching it, I think it would be fine. But for anyone that's actually doing it, it will be a bit distracting.
this is why I think Critical Role like sets unrealistic precedent. At the moment, it's a known effect called the Matt Mercer effect, which is people start doing D&D because they watch Critical Role, and like there aren't many DMs who are as good as Matt Mercer.
Quickly realise that their DM isn't Matt Mercer or anywhere near Matt Mercer, because
but
most people are.
It's also unrealistic. The Matt Mercer effect is a two-way effect because you're not Laura Bailey, you're not Travis Willingham, you're not Sam Riegel. Like I'm not a voice actor, I'm not an actor.
Yeah, and most of us aren't.
Right? So like Matt Mercer is as good as Matt Mercer is because his players are as good as they are. And like I could be Matt Mercer, but if you're not them, you will not get a Critical Role experience.
Yeah. Because if he's doing all the stuff he
about
does
Matt Mercer.
If he's doing all the stuff he does with voices and everything else, and then every one of his players is like, so I go an attack with my sword. It's like, if you were talking like that, it's like, Jesus Christ, is there any life in this guy?
Honestly, I think one thing that really helps like add some atmosphere to battles is not the DM describing how things go, is the players just like saying. So when I've been fighting some goblins recently. I don't know if you can tell with Burke, and I'll run up to a goblin and I'll be like, "Oh, I cave his head in," right? Even if it like, and the DM will say, "You don't know that that's going to happen." But also, it's like, well, if it does happen, that's what I do, and if I don't happen, it's like, "Oh, you whack him in the head."
Yeah, it's like,
you don't fully cave. You're adding a little bit of motion, but it takes like a second and a half, and it doesn't really detract. And it just adds a little bit of life to fights that really makes them a bit more thematic.
It's not just role play that makes D&D exciting. It's if you add more description to what you're doing, instead of just saying I attack with a sword in monotone voice. If you say stuff like that, or like if you get creative, like you're. But the
other problem is you have to avoid prose. It's a fine balance.
Yeah.
Like, I backflip over him and stab him in the chest 37 times while slitting his wrist. Like, just shut up, right? You just stab him.
Yeah. Like, don't go too overboard, but also like get creative. Like, if you're fighting in a manor house, you could be like, "Oh, I shoot an arrow through the chandelier and crash it on top of him."
That's interesting stuff to do. The problem is running. That's terrible. Like, go ahead, do it. Like, I think a DM will be fine, but like. Calculating that damage.
Oh yeah,
if it's less than shooting the arrow, it sucks. But if it's more, it's now like
it's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
Now you're worrying about chandeliers everywhere, and players are going to keep trying to do it. Like it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
it really does cut both ways.
It's like it's fun to be able to use anything as a weapon, but then the problem is setting the precedent of now being able to use that as a weapon, and having to if you have really creative players that are always like grabbing tables, chairs, throwing a wall at someone, crashing a chandelier, and getting the most sort of creative methods by which to try and attack an NPC, then obviously the problem is the DM's going to spend an awful lot of time trying to then calculate how the hell you work out what kind of damage that thing is causing to the enemy.
Or a lot of times they just stop putting chandeliers in places.
All that.
It's now magically lit, or it's dark. It's like, oh, okay, cool. It's actually less going on here now.
Yeah.
I can see it.
So you are fighting in a room. Tables and chairs. There is no tables and chandelier. There is no chandelier. There is no windows. There is nothing. Please just use your goddamn weapons. Please.
Yeah, I think if you're using like an interesting tactic of like, oh, I'm going to like shoot the chandelier and drop it on them. That's the kind of thing that's like, it will do the same damage, but maybe it'll be rough terrain, or they'll go prone, right? And it's like, it's a slight effect. There's actually very little that's actually happening there, but it does change the battlefield in some way. Like, or you'll do a thing and it's purely like description, it's pure flavor, no mechanics. And I know some players are like, oh, but I really like having these like mechanical benefits from like quick thinking. It's like, yeah, you do, but it starts being annoying
quickly.
And also, you're not as smart as you think you are. It's also...
Yeah, you'd be surprised how quickly you can get to a point where it's very difficult to improvise on the spot as a DM.
Yeah, because Tom's a DM too, and I said to him, when I started, I found I was like describing things like, oh, you like swing you fire the arrow and it thwacks past someone and hits the tree when they miss, or like, oh, it reflects off their shield, and it's like, yeah, by the end I was like, yeah, you miss. Yeah. Because actually adding those descriptions really adds time.
Because I think the problem is when combat goes on for long enough, it gets to the point where it's just hit miss, hit miss, hit miss. Let's just get through this, boys. Come on.
Oh yeah, in long combats, don't describe too much what you're doing. But it's like if you think it's going to be quick, if it's like a bullying fight, describe.
Yeah, if it's like
And also, it's on the players to describe more than the DM at that point. I think because when a player says I'm going to attack him, saying how you attack him only adds 3 words. But having a DM say the both like through the arrow like thwacks past him and hits the tree is more than saying miss. A lot more.
But if it's like Burke just, trying to crush the skull of an NPC in the street because he's bothered him, then you can be a bit more descriptive.
Yeah, it's a fine balance. Like most of D&D, it's like D&D is seriously like it's very Goldilocks.
It's an
not
art.
too hot, not too cold. I enjoy it.
There's an art to being a great DM, and it's finding the balance of all of that somewhere in the middle.
There's an art to being a great player. I think actually being a DM is somewhat easier than being a player sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Because being a player, you've got to let people stand back and be like, I'm going to let someone else take this. This is their thing. This is their time. Which is why I build Burke the way I did. It's I got 6 in Wiz and Charisma, but also that's someone else's domain. That's what they can do.
Yeah, you don't want to be as a player. The temptation is to create a character that does everything and is all powerful and basically builds Superman.
That was never my intention.
Well, yeah, but as a player, sometimes you want that. You want all your modifiers to be huge. You want all the buffs possible. You want to be indestructible, so you can go into every single scenario and just win it single-handedly. But then you quickly realize that actually kills the energy of the game.
Oh, and everywhere, yeah. There's familiars too. Familiars will drain the life out of anything. There's Beastmaster in Ranger where you get a beast. You may remember Colin from one of the campaigns you played, which was Joanna's character. Well, Joanna's familiar frog beast thing.
Yeah.
And it's but then you get 2 actions. You get your move and Colin's move, which means you're taking up a little bit extra in the turns. And it doesn't seem too bad from your perspective because I'm just rolling 2 extra dice. But also you're stopping the next person from having their turn, and you're not actually the beast isn't good enough to really justify the turn.
Right.
Social construct. So the social contract. That's not construct. Contract.
You got it eventually. Well done, Lewis.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks,
jelly
yeah.
baby.
I'm a jelly baby. What?
My when I was in primary school, this is going to sound really creepy, but it's just the early 2000s, and it was normal back then. So I went to 2 primary schools. First one was until year 2, and then after that I went to one for the rest of primary school from year 2 onwards. And at the second one, the head teacher I had for most of it, basically you would get these things, every week you would get a certain amount of crests. So if you did a particularly good thing in class, you would get a crest or, just a star.
Yeah.
And at the end of every week, you would go to the headmaster, and you would, depending on how many crests you got, would be how many jelly babies he gave you. And you would line up literally outside of his office, and you would go in one by one and all get these jelly babies from him.
That's really odd.
Describing it out
so long.
Describing it out loud makes it sound a hell of a lot more dodgy than it was. For us, it was just we got jelly babies. So.
It doesn't seem that dodgy. My head teacher wanted a copy of a report I did on his wall because it was really good. That's not
cool.
just. Yeah, I never gave it to him.
Oh.
That sounds like the most Lewis thing ever. Hey, Lewis, I want to put this thing on the wall that praises you because you did a really good thing. Do you want to give it to me? If I can be asked.
I got not an award, but a commendation in the next assembly because on Thursdays we would have star of the week in each class. I don't know if you guys did that too.
Oh,
I think
did
we
you
might
have
have had something
the certificates that were given out in assembly?
I don't think it wasn't really a certificate. It was just this week we're gonna in the assembly from year 1. This was a really good piece of work that Jimmy did, and he was in year 2. There was one that Greg did, and in year 3, and then so on up until and then I think it was in year 5 I got one. for writing
Okay.
a good story and one for writing
I
a
don't
report.
think-
That was the best I did in school.
I don't think well, I think that might have been a thing at my school, but if it was, I certainly
You just
don't
never
think I
got one?
it. Yeah, I never got one. Yeah.
I remember getting a few.
I remember getting a few.
I know.
was really
Well,
good
Well, Josh is
at
so
them.
impressive. Look at him go.
everyone got them though. There were loads of people. You like walk up to the front of the assembly and like the
Was it not one
headmaster
a week?
gave us a handshake and handed us a certificate.
Wait, was it not one a week?
What that I got?
No, but like
What?
there was basically 6
Oh.
given out a week, one for each year.
Oh, okay. No, we had like actually I don't remember how often they were. It probably wasn't like every week. But it was like
That probably makes it seem like you got more than you did.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because you got one when it happened, not... You didn't need to see every week, you just didn't get one.
yeah. Well, it was like I remember it being like quite a few people that would be like
Didn't you two
coming
go
up
to
to
the
get
same
them.
primary school?
Nah.
no.
I met Josh in year
Yeah.
7.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry,
I think he
thought
sat
you went
like
to the
in
same
front of
primary
me or
school.
behind me.
I see. I early secondary school is like really fuzzy for me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I only remember my like
I can
4
remember.
times.
I can remember the first day
Actually-
of secondary school, and I remember being dropped off at the turntable by
I remember.
by my mum,
Oh.
and I remember getting out of the car and looking at all the Year 11s and thinking they were just these ginormous WWE wrestler-like style figures because they were just so ginormous. And then I remember,
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they saw me or Josh?
and I also
Like, Josh is way taller than me, but like he's
Yeah.
terrifying, and I look like I
I'm
do.
terrifying.
If for like a small,
yeah, like
Yes, Alan.
yeah, like if
Oh,
I
okay.
see
like,
like
he's 6 foot something, right?
if I
Like,
saw like Josh when I was
I'm
in year
6 foot,
7,
like,
I would have been like,
exactly.
oh my god. No, you're more than 6 foot, Josh. I'm like 6
No,
foot,
I'm.
basically.
no, you're like 5'10", Matt. You're my height.
Well, yeah, 5'10".
My height was measured like really recently. I'm exactly 6 foot.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Then I'm just slightly less than 6 foot then.
We're like
Everyone thinks
Mandela-ing
I'm.
ourselves.
Everyone always thinks I'm over 6 foot. I don't know why.
It's probably your shoes.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
That's
I
really
thought
like.
you just haven't noticed.
But yeah,
I wear
I remember.
platform shoes.
After that, I do remember then being told that we all had to go around to the cage, which also is going to sound
Oh,
really,
yeah.
like okay. So FYI, because it
Why
was
is
going
it
to be
called
like
the
you know like
cage?
yeah
it was
why-
a prison.
yeah, but we were sent to prison as juveniles. No. Basically, the cage was well.
The teachers also called it the cage, right?
Well,
Like, it was
yeah,
just
no, the
colloquially known as
everyone,
the cage.
everyone called it the cage. Basically, every year, well, like
Wait, why did we call it the cage?
Because it was the year 7 only area. It was
It was
like
the year
a big
7
gated
only.
area.
It was the year 7. Basically, it was the year 7 like double basketball court area that was completely caged off. That was called the cage. And the thing was, is that each year had a cage, or like
They
I
didn't.
think it was like 10, 11s had one.
Each year had a cage.
Well, actually, no. Sorry,
This-
no. I think it was year
this is-
7. Wasn't it year 7's in year 8's in
Yeah.
one, and then it was like
Well, no, year
year
8's I
9's
think
in
was
one of them.
separate. I think
Okay.
it might have been year 8s and 9s.
Yeah, and then it was 10s and 11s in the last one.
Yeah.
And they were all
Well, they might
segregated
have
off and caged,
their
and
own.
so each time, and all of them were called the cage. But basically, you would know which one you were referring to by your year. So, like, and I just remember being, I just remember like we were all told to go to the cage, and then you just basically had a whole load of first day year 7s all mingling around in this cage, and all I can remember is
Well, no,
that
it was everyone, wasn't it?
Well, no,
No,
it was
on the
just year
first day,
7s.
the first day of thing, you always come in late because the year 7's like.
Exactly, yeah. The first
Yeah,
day,
I
the first
forgot
day of
about that.
term, the year 7s come in on time for 9, and then everyone else comes in later, so that the year 7s have a little bit of time to adjust. And I remember like, so all the year 7s are there, and like obviously I know no one because I was the only kid from my primary school to go to the
Same.
to the school to the secondary school that we went to.
I
And
had Ben in our form.
well, this is the thing. So, so Josh and I were in the same form. Not that we knew it at that point. And the only kid I could remember was, do you remember Harry, Josh?
Yeah.
So Harry, I'd met on induction day earlier that summer.
Oh,
And he was
okay.
the only kid I could remember. And the thing
Wait,
was,
did you not go to summer school?
I don't know.
No.
Oh my god, am I the only one who went to that?
I think.
Wait,
Wait,
what?
what's
What's
summer school?
Oh my god.
There was a
What?
summer school? I'm just learning this. What?
Guys, you guys
Did you
were
get
like...
cheated out of a holiday?
No, there was like a week-long thing, so you would go and like build
Oh, a
rockets
week.
and like... Yeah, it was like a week-long thing where you would
Okay.
go and like... You would build rockets. You'd like cook some food. You'd like compete. We went to the National History Museum. We went to the National Science Museum. We went to all the.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't do this.
This
I
was for like
didn't do
gifted
this
people,
either.
guys. Sorry.
Oh,
you-
really? Really?
No,
Was
it
it?
actually was. No, it genuinely was.
Oh,
like,
my
it had like
gosh.
James Yanis, all of that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You guys weren't nerds like I was.
No.
Damn nerds.
So anyway, yeah. So
I
Jo-
thought Matt went. I just had it in my head that he was there.
So Josh was in my form, but the only kid I can remember was Harry from induction day, and I just remember talking to him, and I couldn't remember his name. So all I can remember is walking around the cage, desperately trying to look for this kid that looked like Harry. And I
Well, we
eventually
had to go and
found
line
him.
up in a form, didn't we?
Well, this is the thing. I eventually,
Yeah.
but this is before we were asked to line up. And I just remember mingling around and desperately trying to find him, finding him, and then couldn't remember his name. So I just sort of stood near him, hoping he would recognize me because I didn't know his name. So I didn't want to be like, "Hey, dude that I don't remember, how are you?" So I just sort of.
On your first day,
I
you
just
could have walked up to anyone and started talking to them.
Well,
That's
yeah.
why I'm friends with 90% of the people I am at uni. It's like I sat next to them on the first day and was like, "You right?"
Oh yeah, I'm like that now, but it might surprise you to, remember that at the start of year 7, I wasn't.
Matt, I met you in year 9, properly. I knew you, but
okay.
like...
So at the start of year 7, I was not a very confident kid. I was not very chatty.
Is that what you're friends with Josh? Is you were like two peas in a pod?
Well, this is the thing, right? So when
I'm
I
still
started,
not chatty.
because I was,
You didn't say you changed.
because after year 7, I became very very chatty. Still am.
Yeah.
But no, at that point I wasn't very confident at all. But no, I remember then after that, yeah, we went to forms, and this is the thing. Josh and I, to this day, we can't remember when we met.
No, I have no clue.
Like
It just
we
sort of happened.
literally at one point, just a year later in year 8, we're walking through like just like the outside area, and I just remember turning to him going, "How did we meet?" And Josh was like, "I don't know."
We probably just
Yeah.
sat at the same table in form.
That's almost it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost that, and we probably just
I
knew each
have
other's
no
names
clue,
because
though.
of the register. We probably just knew each other's names from the register. Like you call out, everyone that gets their names call out, so you just figure
Yeah.
out whichever one's name is. But yeah, so we just sort of, I guess, started talking at some point,
I don't
And now
know.
you're dating.
and now it's oh my god, that was such an off that joke.
All the
was
way
used-
through secondary
all the way.
school.
It wasn't like sporadic; it was continuous.
Yeah.
It's even lasted like 5 years onwards.
My
Like
God.
because Josh and I would talk so much, we were basically in a homosexual relationship. And do you know what the funniest thing is,
yeah,
Josh, do
apparently.
you remember when we went to see the first Deadpool, which came out obviously on Valentine's Day? I remember when we went to the cinema to watch it. We go into the cinema, and it is literally just under 25 boy and girl couples watching this film, and then us
that's
two
funny.
come in. And it felt like it would almost have been easier to just come in and explain that we were basically in a homosexual relationship. Like, it would have been easier to just say that. Because I almost felt like
I don't think anyone was judging, honestly. I think that you were just seeing it that way.
I mean, maybe, yeah. Because I always felt like I needed to come into the cinema and just, just like get a megaphone and be like, "We're just friends. We're watching
not
the movie." I also remember at one point.
Just so you know.
I also remember at one point. And this didn't help but fuel it. This must have been Josh. When we were in the same science class together. When was that? Year 9. Because we were in the same. I
God.
feel like we were in the same science
that was year
class.
7. Wait.
It must have been later.
I don't know, actually.
It must have been.
I don't
Oh,
know.
maybe you were just outside my science class with me. Actually, no, it was
Probably.
that. Sorry. So no,
I
you were
don't-
just outside my science class. We were queuing up, and I just
Yeah.
remember that I was doing like martial arts at the time, and like there was some hand lock thing. That
You were doing Aikido, right?
yeah.
Oh, so you were doing fake martial arts, got it.
And I just remember like thanks, Liz.
Well, no. I'm not complimenting you, Matt. I'm making it clear Aikido, not martial arts.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's not. Honestly, word of advice. Like, it can be great for, like, maybe learning about self-discipline or how to fall correctly. It could be useful for that. But, like, if you're wanting to do Aikido because you think that it would help with actual self-defense, you don't.
Is it really not good for that?
It's not.
You'll get, like, annihilated.
Okay.
Well,
because it's there's too much practice on, like, willing participants.
Basically, yeah. If you don't, basically, like, in Aikido, if you don't fall correctly with the movement, you could, like, dislocate your shoulder.
Your shoulder or theirs?
No. The person receiving it. So, like, usually you do the attack, and then the other person does the maneuver, and then you get taken to the ground. And if you don't go willingly, then if the person actually followed through with the maneuver, they probably ended up, hurting you in some way. Because a lot of Aikido focuses on, like, controlling the arm and the shoulder. So basically, probably
as far as I've seen, like, anyone who resists any Aikido hold, just, like, by pulling backwards, ends up, like, pulling them with them, and then they just punch them in the head.
Basically, if you actually want to learn self-defense, you probably want to take stuff like jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, maybe Krav Maga. That's a bit extreme, but that sort of stuff. But anyway, that's besides the point. In Aikido, there are several, like, hand holds that you can do to, like, manipulate your opponent. As long as they, and
let you.
As long as they, well. When I say they would probably have to basically let you grab hold of their hand, and to get into this position. But what I'll say is, if you get this position, if you get a person into this hand hold, they can't help but move with you. But to get into that position is very, very difficult. Like, if you were in the middle of a fight, you wouldn't actually try to get into this position because
it's a 100% guaranteed win move, but it will never be it will never work.
It's like saying there's a 3-move chess checkmate, but the likelihood of it happening is like 0.0001%.
There's a 2-move checkmate.
Oh, so there is a 2-move, isn't there? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I've never done it legitimately in, like, a tournament. I did 4-move checkmate hard in a tournament. Very proud of myself. They were, like, my age, I wasn't bullying.
What was it? Was it like what is it?
I can show you the actual maneuver.
I feel like it starts with, like, pawn c4 or something, but I can't remember.
What, the 4-move checkmate?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also, you have to be
basically
black.
reveal your queen, and then
you have to be black as well, don't you? Or is it you have to be white? I can't remember. It's one way around. You have to be white. Yeah.
4-move, I think you have to be white.
But anyway,
so 2-move, you have to be white.
Besides all of this, basically, I got Josh into this hand movement and basically demonstrated to him that when you get the person into this hand movement, basically once you twist their wrist and you start turning, they have to turn with you because otherwise you're basically just going to break their freaking wrist. And I just remember demonstrating this to him in the middle of the hallway outside science class, and then obviously, like, I remember, like,
the teacher walks around.
Well, no, not the teacher. Like, just some of the kids, like the head kids, like, obviously started looking at that and basically started laughing that we were quote unquote holding hands.
Was that where it started?
No, that's not where it started.
Oh.
That just helped fuel it.
Okay.
It was like ha ha.
And you guys were real easy targets.
Yeah, we really didn't. We really didn't
That's
help
coming
ourselves.
from me.
We really didn't help ourselves in that respect.
Were you ever, like, bullied or like soft bullied in secondary school then, Lewis?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking me for a second.
Well, because you are
I think with Lewis,
No,
it was
wasn't.
more like people talked behind his back, to be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I remember people
Really?
talking about me being friends with Lewis. And I remember basically, like, in our form were other people. Like, it was mainly like the kids at school. And
I like that you've put a lot of senses in there. Thanks.
yeah, you're welcome. Well, they deserve it.
Is that something we need to censor?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
It's so minor, though.
But anyway, so
but we let crap go through. Like, that's our limit.
So with these kids, basically,
fine.
I don't know. I don't think they were outwardly like anything with Lewis, but I do remember talking to them, and they were like, "You're friends with Lewis," and I think it was more just like you were a bit odd. I don't know how.
I am a bit odd.
I don't know from what angle they thought you were a bit odd. Maybe it was just because of the fact that you were losing hair. I don't know whether that was the fact that they saw you as odd or the fact that
God, Matt, out me like that.
he says having already had this discussion of the podcast several times.
Yeah.
Or like maybe it was because you were hanging around with like Pet Ben or like all those kind of people, and they saw them.
They were probably just feeling sorry for Lewis.
maybe, I don't know. But
No,
I was friends with some of the popular kids for like my first 3 years. Then I realized they were twats,
this is the
so
thing. This is the
away.
thing. I was the thing I had. I don't. Okay, so I don't know why this is, but for some reason, especially at secondary school and also at college to a certain extent, and also to a certain extent at uni, people seem to want to just confide their problems in me, and I don't know why. But for a lot of secondary school, I ended up basically.
you're very open.
I basically ended up having a friend groups with a lot of people. So like like I knew the cool kids and the cool kids knew me, or like
They didn't see you as a threat. That might have been it.
maybe yeah, there was also like the form group, sort of the friend form group within our form, Josh, and then there was also like Lewis and Pet Ben and all those kind of people. And so I just ended up having a lot of, and the thing that really confused me was the fact that a lot of people at secondary school came to me for relationship advice, and this really confused me. Like they would always come to, don't you remember it? Like especially in our form, they would come to me. Well, actually no, this is maybe not when you were
To be fair,
necessarily
you
around.
have a very successful 10-year relationship going on at the moment. It's not unreasonable to assume you know what's going on.
But like, I just remember, so like a certain amount in form, and also when I walked back with a certain amount of these kids afterwards, because like sometimes I would bike home with Josh, and sometimes I would walk back with some of these kids that were in like my form or that I knew, and they would like ask me for relationship advice all the time. And I just couldn't, like,
really?
I would always turn around to them and I was like, you do realise they've never been in one and you're asking the most inexperienced person for any kind of advice on this topic, right? And they would just, I don't know why, but they would always come to me. And even now, like at uni, people would do this with me. And then even then, I was like, you do realise, once again...
Matt, send them my way. I'll sort them out.
Like, literally. Like, oh, bless him. Like, there was a kid I had in first year called Oshan, who was in my flat. Oh, God bless him. He was just like, oh.
You say kid, he's your age.
Well, like, I don't know. Well, this is another thing. I had several nicknames in first year. Among them being Flat Chef, because I love to cook. Flat Pharmacist, because I was basically...
but you don't cook well. That's a big difference.
Yeah. But
you put mushrooms in your bolognese. You degenerate.
Lewis, like the Spider-Man discussion, we're not going there because you are wrong and I will fight you.
No, well, okay, first of all, you are wrong, but also, like, Lewis, what leg do you have to stand on? you were doing...
When Lewis has no grounds on which to be able to discuss what meals are.
You just had, like, onion, carrot, and ham on a plate, and that was...
It wasn't on a plate, it was in a bowl. First of all,
okay.
it was making bolognese and the
makes
meat
it
went
so
off,
much-
and that's when I ate it.
So anyway...
And it was good.
So I had Flat Chef. I had Flat Doctor or Pharmacist, because I was basically a walking pharmaceutical. Because my mum decided before I left for uni, her little bouncing baby boy had to go off with every single drug known to mankind, and also a first aid kit that she'd had in the house basically since the 1990s, and most of the stuff had actually gone out of date from 2004. Which was helpful. Which basically meant I had to get a new first aid kit when I got there.
You have a first aid kit?
Yeah.
You should.
I don't.
But anyway, and I was also
Solution: don't get hurt.
I was also nicknamed.
Well, good solution.
Yeah, good idea, John. Lewis. I feel like Lewis, as a doctor in a hospital, would just be like, "So are you hurt? Okay, cool. Yeah, here's my word of advice: don't get hurt. Stop being hurt."
That would be my actual recommendation. Preventative care is absolutely the optimal kind of care, Matt. Like, I don't know where you live, but not getting cancer is a great way to not die of cancer.
I know everyone's worried about the coronavirus, guys. It's a simple solution: don't get ill.
Yeah,
it is. Have you noticed, Matt, how they keep telling people, hey, wash your hands, make sure you're hygienic, stay out of places you don't need to be for too long, stay away from people who you think have travelled abroad recently. Like, it's always in my advice of just don't.
Lewis should be on the WHO. Lewis should be on the WHO. He really should be.
It's no reason not to have a first aid kit, though.
But anyway, I
don't get hurt.
I also had the nickname of Flat Dad, which was ironic given I was one of the youngest in the flat, and also I was one of the only first years in my flat. Everyone else was second or third year. And they would come to me for relationship advice, like the flatmate opposite me, Lauren, before she got together with her boyfriend, Dan, who she's still actually together with. she was like constantly asking me
great,
for advice.
congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause,
Yeah,
everyone.
well done. Well, it's been 3 years now, so. And
so you mean they're about to divorce, Scarlett?
oh wow,
Honeymoon period has ended. They thought they were going to get married. They got married. They eloped, and then they're really struggling with like the financial burdens of being married and the stresses that come with the adult world.
Karen took the kids.
They've understood that they're actually not compatible in a way that works long term. They work as like a boyfriend girlfriend, like like a fling, but really they struggle with the whole like relationship.
What a shining beacon of optimism you are,
They
Lewis.
bottle a lot of things up, and they fight very irregularly, which is incredibly dangerous, because when they do fight, man, do they go for it. And they say some incredibly hurtful things.
Lewis, are you going to need a therapy session right now or something? I feel like you're indicating a lot of past trauma that you experienced.
Matt, do I sound
Yeah,
the
that
kind of
sounds a
person
bit too
who bottles
specific.
things up?
I don't know.
I don't bottle things up, Matt.
No, you're right. You vent very easily. But anyway,
let's debate about loads of things, like whatever Matt's about to say.
Anyway, so there was also this kid in. I keep saying kid. Okay, there was a guy in my flat called Oshan who had the worst luck when it came to relationships, and also like you thought I was socially awkward when it came to me entering in year 7. This kid, why do I keep saying kid? This guy had
He's
it even
older than
worse,
you, isn't he?
Yes, this guy had it even worse than I did. And like, oh god, I don't know. He was just awkward. I don't know. And also, like, he got together with this girl at one point in first year when I was in the flat with him, and basically, she ended up breaking up with him not long afterwards. And like, I literally at one point, I had to deal with him sitting on my bed, crying on my shoulder, and I was just like, I just remember being in my head like, this is what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do.
You think you should learn from the best of us, like me, exuding this kind of pure charisma.
Oh god! but
imagine that would go well for him.
Yeah, you think? Do you know what's even worse? I'm fairly sure that this woman, after she broke up with him, got together with another woman.
I mean, that's not. You can be bisexual, Matt.
Yeah, I know, but
it doesn't make it worse. Like if they got together with another guy, that's equally bad because like you weren't enough for them.
Yeah,
yeah. I would say it's actually better.
Might actually.
Like the comparison isn't like you can't compare yourself as much.
I suppose, yeah, in certain aspects, I guess maybe it isn't as bad. But anyway, yeah, he just had it real bad. But it just again shows that for some reason people came to me. I don't know why. It's not like I'm asking for this. I'm not asking to be a relationship counsellor. I would for some reason just always get burdened with it.
I would say it is just because you're quite you're welcoming. You have a welcoming attitude.
No, no, he's just non-threatening. It's very.
Well, that's.
I was just waiting for.
Okay,
Lewis.
I mean,
I wasn't even going to say anything. Like as soon as Josh complimented me, I was just waiting for Lewis to buy in. Like no.
Non-threatening isn't an insult.
Okay,
but you want to be a threatening person.
I mean,
I was saying welcoming. You're saying non-threatening. You're just being very specific about him not being threatening.
I mean,
because he's not always welcoming. Like he's been friends with him for like 10 years.
Here it comes. Here it comes. I knew you had to get the word in there somewhere. But to be fair, though, he is true. Like I couldn't hurt a fly.
Well,
he's tried.
Couldn't hurt a fly either, but for moral reasons.
You could, but he chooses not to.
I'm the most moral of us here.
Wait, so you're saying you wouldn't?
He chooses not to.
Do you kill bugs?
No.
You never kill bugs?
No, not intentionally.
Neither do I.
Ever?
No.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so like...
I live in the UK,
okay.
Josh. It's not like I'm going to die when a spider hangs in my corner.
If there's a bee or a wasp in the house, I get it out the house. If there's a spider, it depends. If it's a house spider, usually I won't get rid of it, because if you get it outside the house, it'll die. Flies, I just get outside. I don't kill them. I just either let them outside, or I put them in the corner of the house and let them be if they're a house spider.
Listen, I'll put house spiders outside. Like, they can get to a new house.
No, they'll probably die.
Of what? They're just outside.
Yeah, but the temperature change is actually enough to kill them.
Yeah, but they can get inside, Matt. They're just not in my area.
Yeah, but the reality of them being able to make it to another house before they die is not very likely.
I think you underestimate how powerful spiders are.
I'm not saying how powerful they are. I'm
You
saying how quick they
underestimate
are.
the power of
House
the
spiders
spider.
aren't very known for their speed, and they'll probably die of like, well, I don't know what you would call it, like, well, not pneumonia, but basically they would die of it being too cold outside. Which is why
No.
house spiders
How
stay
about that?
indoors.
What do you mean no?
No, how about that?
Just no. No,
Just
okay.
no.
Spiders I wouldn't kill. They're pretty non-threatening.
You kill
They
flies,
just-
do you?
I don't kill flies. More so
Bees?
just because
Wasps?
no. What is the proper name for it? Is it daddy long legs? Is that the proper name, or is it?
You kill them.
They're so annoying.
You kill what?
You're a monster.
What does Josh kill?
I don't want to kill them, but if there's like
Oh,
four
wait, I
of them
missed
in
it.
my
I missed
room,
it. What did you kill?
Daddy long legs.
yeah.
Why?
If
That's a
if there are
house spider.
so
Well, actually, no, it's not a spider, is it? Sorry, it's
no,
Why kill it?
they're the most. I don't want to. Usually, I don't. I'll try and like usher it out of my room or outside.
Just get a
if
glass
there's,
and a
like-
piece of paper and put them in a loft.
And what you should know, by the way, daddy long legs refers to 4 different species, right? So you can't just say they're not spiders,
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
right? There's 2 of them are spiders, 1 of them isn't.
Okay.
Okay,
One of them's a plant.
I'm talking about a flying thing.
Yeah, that's a crane fly.
Crane fly. Okay. Yeah, so those are the worst for me because they're big enough to be like more of a problem. I don't like bugs.
No, do I.
I especially the flying ones. I can't go to sleep if I know it's in my room.
Yeah,
I've figured out the solution to that, Josh, is just put your head down and sleep.
No, but it's there. It's flying around.
No, but just sleep. Just like
Right
just
next
ignore it.
to
Just
me.
do it. No, just do it. Just go to sleep.
I think for me, it would depend on what it
It's-
is.
It's so
If it's a
uncomfortable.
bee or a wasp, then yeah, I wouldn't get to sleep.
No, because you know it can
A bee or
sting
a
you.
wasp isn't going to move. at night.
But the thing is though is I know it's not going to sting me, but it's just like the I guess the thought of it. But because the thing is with
It can sting you,
yeah, but the thing is
It
with
does-
bees
it
with bees
won't.
and wasps, especially
but
the
it
wasps.
can.
Yeah, but the thing is with bees, especially a bee won't sting you unless you really piss it off. Because obviously,
Yeah.
if it stings you, it kills itself.
Well, there's
Yeah.
like certain types of bees. There are many bees that don't have that.
Okay, fine, but for the most part, especially in Britain, the honeybee kills itself when it stings you.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
it's
Josh, would you feel
got a
comfortable if
barbed
I
stinger.
sleep in your room? Or
Sorry?
on the floor? If I'm sleeping on the floor, are you comfortable if I'm sleeping there?
I mean,
If you said
probably.
I can sleep. Okay, but I can stab you.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to though.
I actually had that once.
What?
I didn't stab
No,
you.
no,
What are you
no,
talking
no.
about?
Sorry. I should have prefaced this. This is the earlier point of the sleeping on the ground, not the being stabbed in the bed and surviving thing. But one of my flatmates in first year had their friend over who'd come from Oxford uni, and they basically needed somewhere to stay the night. So I was like, oh, you can just sleep in my room.
Why?
Because they needed to sleep somewhere, and it was more comfortable to sleep in my room than it would be on the kitchen floor. Because at least my room has like like they could have like a
Yeah, but
pillow and a blanket
but
and carpet.
why didn't they
rather
sleep
than
in their
the
friend's
carpet.
room?
Oh, because there was because she already had her boyfriend around.
Okay, but couldn't the boyfriend go home?
I guess not. It wasn't like a big thing. It wasn't like it wasn't really like a big problem.
This seems like poor planning though, because like I wouldn't say you can sleep in my room to some person I didn't know, right? Like I'm trying to sleep in there, like plan for this. I'm not there, go ahead, but like if I'm there, I'm paying for this.
Honestly, I didn't really mind. I got to know them throughout the night.
Did you?
So I mean, yeah.
You just slept on the floor, did you?
No. They slept on the floor. Well, I offered for them to sleep in the bed, right, and I sleep on the floor, but they were like, no. And they just, they actually, by the time I woke up, they were actually gone.
And so were all your valuables.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, and everything
He
I
doesn't
own.
have any valuables.
Does he not?
Well, I
No.
had more,
Oh.
my computer setup was in there and my phone and everything.
He'd taken your entire computer.
you imagine I just wake up and like my clothing's gone, the bedding's gone, like somehow they took the mattress out from underneath me, my phone, computing stuff.
You wake up and
everything.
you fall from the air that you've been floating in.
No, I can see it. Yeah.
That works.
They're a real cartoon
whilst I was sleeping, I basically literally became Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
They stole all of your stuff, but they gave you magic powers.
Okay,
it's fair trade.
We never talked about RVB.
Well, I guess we'll just have to leave it because we're already at 2:15.
And we also didn't talk about Spyfall.
We didn't.
Spyfall?
Did you watch it?
I have, yeah.
I told Matt, I told you that he was going to watch it for this week.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Just as why I didn't.
We'll have a lot to talk about next week then.
God, I've got 14 more D&D sessions between them.
Oh my god.
Oh, good. We spent like an hour and a half talking about D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's not do that next week.
That might be. Well, we needed to catch up. You had a lot of sessions.
Yeah, I had a lot of sessions.